Good evening, all, and welcome to the Tactical Devils. I'm your host, Jarvis, and with me tonight I have Mark and Stu, and we are going to have a panel show and debate the latest news. And there is news on the horizon because we have been linked to a secret midfielder because the plot thickens when it comes to this. We have had some reports coming out now telling us that we have been linked to a guy from Northern Ireland, none other than than Shay. Charles. It's a name I haven't heard before. He currently plays for Southampton, who are in the playoffs for the Championship and next year's Premier League. Is a cheaper type of player. His transfer mark value is 14 millions, and I believe we can get him for around 20 million, according to their reports. Let's just read out the report quickly, and let's just see if we can get it up here. Guys, I think this is interesting because, as I said, the plot thickens and a lot of things is aligning at the moment. I have so many things up. Okay, so this is the news. Manchester United could strengthen the squad by signing a third midfielder for around 20 millions, with scouts monitoring Southampton's Shay Charles. So there you got it, guys. And why do I pick this up? It sounds like just a wild rumor, but the wild rumor is not that far away because this report also came out. Chris Wheeler, Daily Mail, saying Manchester United are ready to spend in the region of £150 million to sign 3 central midfielders, not 2, 3. So, this summer, if there is enough room in the transfer budget. And the thing is, United have earmarked around 80 million for a marquee signing to replace Casemiro. We know who's been linked. We have been linked to Baleba. It's Elliot Anderson, it's Tonali, and all of these kind of expensive in the bracket 80, 90, 100 million pounds before us starting the negotiation. We also have been linked to a lot of these 50 million pound midfielders. Talking about Ederson, we saw today this came out. Ederson, Manchester United to bid a 45 million bid for the Atlanta midfielder. So again, the plot thickens, as I said, and a lot of these players are getting more and more linked to Man United. When it comes to the 50 million bracket players, we have been linked to players like Alex Scott, Tyler Adams, Ederson. I don't know where Baleba is. Is he an 80 million player or is he a 50 million players? So that's another question that needs to be answered. I have gathered a panel tonight. We will talk about the transfer jigsaw puzzle and how we are going to solve it. I will also say that City are playing at the moment against Everton, and Everton is, as far as I know, up 3-1 at the moment. So I think maybe the title race is already over. So congratulations to Arsenal then, but again, the game is not over yet. I think it's still like 10, 15 minutes left. So guys, keep me updated on the latest. And after a while, we will go through every stat we can when it comes to Shay Charles. His height, his numbers, his shirt number. Is he left-footed? Is he right-footed? How is he as a player? We can look at his FP refs. We can look at his heat map, all of this to see if he fits in the Man United system. So guys, girls, I will be back after the intro. Stu will be back. Mark will be back. We will all be back and do a typical Jarvis's Corner 90-minute full action football debating show for you guys. Get involved in the chat, smash the like, subscribe if this is your first time on the Tactical Devils, and we will be back after the intro. So see you in a second. Yes, guys. Welcome to the Tactical Devils. Most of you are most likely watching the Manchester City Everton game by now. As we heard, Man United are up. Oh, there's some updates from Grace Sheridan. 3-2 now. Manchester City are not done yet. They could still be a title race going on to the bitter end. But guys, tonight we're going to talk about transfers, midfield transfers, the jigsaw. How is Man United going to solve this? We are apparently signing one big signing, 80 million, one medium signing, 50 million, and one cheap fourth choice midfielder signing, 20 million. And for me, this sounds good. This sounds brilliantly, and this is what we have been talking about. We need reinforcements in this midfield, and we know it's our weakest link when it comes to games this season. We have seen it in again and again, and us not having the depth in the place. We saw it when Mainu didn't play. We lost 1-0. Was it Newcastle? With Mainu out and Ugarte playing. So again, he can't be trusted. And if we have an injury, I think the house of card will collapse at the moment. So we need signings. We need many signings, and the midfielders is about 3 guys. So welcome Stu, welcome Mark, welcome everybody in the chat. I see you, Jarle Malmin. Is it just me? I am Titanium, Das, United TV. Grace, all of you legends. Thank you everybody for coming in, and welcome Stu and Mark. So Stu, did you read the latest transfer link to this guy? None other than Shay Charles, 22-year-old Northern Irish man.
Yeah, I've seen it. It doesn't particularly excite me by any stretch of imagination. I think Southampton are a good outfit, good unit. But it goes against completely what I know that we need, rather than what I think we should need. It's been proven over at Stamford Bridge that you buy youth or younger players for development, and it just isn't working at Stamford Bridge, and we can't afford that. And if you're going to bring a player like that in to supplement the potential of Michael Carrick without a real top draw coach alongside him, then Carrick is got one spade already dug in his grave that he's going to be digging himself, because it's not going to work. Now, we could argue that he's had a stellar season. We could go through his stats, etc., but that's not what Manchester United need to do right now. We've been discussing this for a while, and we know that ultimately we've got to go with star quality. I hate the word star. It doesn't do anything for me when it comes to footballers. They're just men at the end of the day, but you've got to have a different type of player. Because when you look at what's happening at the Hill Dickinson at the moment, you've got an average striker called Barry that's come on and scored twice. People don't like him. They laugh at him, but he generates anticipation. He generates energy. And he's put City right on the back foot here. Now, we all know that City will probably get the equaliser at 99 minutes because Oliver will do everything he possibly can to make sure they equalise before he blows the whistle. And this is where football's going, guys. This is where football is heading now. You cannot make any errors in the game at the moment. You cannot. We looked at Ndiaye and Jai earlier on, had a one-on-one and he missed it. Criminal. City could have gone up the other end and won the game 3-0. That's how tight football matches are at the moment. Look at what happened to Chelsea today. Forest have got a European Cup semi-final to play on Thursday. Villa rested McGinn. They got beat. This is happening now within, you don't go to anywhere in the Premier League now and win football matches like you used to. You don't do it in international football anymore. So you can't, when we know that our midfield is in dire straits, you cannot go and look at certain players unless you're going to bring in the absolute quality that we need that will enable this kid to grow with the team over 12 to 18 months. It's as simple as that for me with this lad. I'm sure he's a good footballer, but it's the wrong time for him to come into Manchester United if he is going to be considered a first-team player. And that's how we got to look at it. Well, you're on mute, dude.
Might I add that the report says, Chris Wheeler report, Daily Mail, he will be the 4th choice midfielder. So again, it's a space, it's a pathway, it's a place where you can grow, come in, play some League Cups, FA Cups, minutes here and there, not being a regular starter. So 20 million for a player of this bracket, it makes sense in a way. If you don't trust the players like Toby Collier to come through, or players like the regulars we have been linked to. What's his name? The massive talent, the youngster in the under 21s midfield at the moment.
Oh yeah, Mike Thwaites.
Yeah. If they're not ready, same with Kone on loan right now. Maybe they need more time.
Yeah, look again, but you only do that if we get where we need. If we don't get what we need and we end up with him plus 1 or 2 extra, then you've got to look at the whether or not it's value for money for us. So I haven't seen a great deal about him, and so I'm not going to do him down as a footballer. I just think we need look, if he comes into 4th choice, if he wants to come in at 4th choice at 22, you wouldn't come to I don't think come to a Manchester United as a 4th choice. You would go to a mid-table team. You go to Brighton or you go to Bournemouth or somewhere like that and try and play regularly. I don't think you would come as a 4th choice. I don't think it's lazy journalism on this one. I think there's something in it, clearly, and Wheeler's got a sniff of something. Again, I'm on the fence with it completely.
But the thing is, too, he's a Manchester lad. He's born in Manchester. He's Manchester born and bred, even though he plays for Northern Ireland. So again, the link is, I think, is valid, and he came from the Manchester City Academy before going to Sheffield Wednesday, Southampton. He played a lot of games in the Championship, and he's a regular for Northern Ireland. So he knows his way around the international scene. Also, I think he have 32 caps at a young age. So even still being a young player, he has a lot of experience. I don't know, Mark. Do you know anything about this guy, and have you heard about him before? Left footer.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about him before because I've watched him play enough games for the under 18s against United. So he's in from the same year group or around the same year group as Kobe Mainoo, Garnacho, and all that lot coming through from City. And you've missed the obvious link, guys. Wilcox took him to Southampton from City's academy. He went to Southampton. Yes. He went on loan at Sheffield Wednesday. Now he's linked again. I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole because I wouldn't touch anyone but Wilcox is pulling out of the City academy. No, we've taken on 9 Man City employees since Wilcox has recommended them as coaches and backroom staff and physios and things like that. It's 9 employees out of City so far, and that's including Barada and Wilcox. And now we're going to go for their ex-players. Stu, you hit the nail on the head. He's 22. Why is he going to be 3rd choice at Man United? You don't go from playing 1st choice football to sitting on the bench and not getting a game. So it's dead in the water for me. And any footballer that would make that decision is not the kind of footballer I would want at any club, let alone United, because where's your ambition to play? Do you see what I mean? You've got Kobe Mainoo, who's a year younger than you, in front of you. So you're behind someone a year younger than you.
Well, but it is a chance to play at the biggest stage in the world, and if you are a Manchester lad, born and bred,
he was at Man City and left because he wouldn't get a game. He was in City's team from the 20 in and out of the 21s, 23s, and the first team before he went to Southampton. So he's had his chances under the best manager in the world who spots talent, O'Reilly, Foden. The list goes on, and he didn't cut it. He went to Southampton and got relegated. And then he went on loan to Sheffield Wednesday for a whole season. Yes, he got Player of the Year. And now he's played for Southampton this year, but has actually played 2 games less this year than he did in his breakthrough season at 20. And it's not through injury, it's through choice. So it's not ticking the right boxes. I love the idea, Jarvis, and you're right. That's the kind of player we need to go for. But I said to you, I'd rather go for the one out in Norway, the one you keep going on about. That's a gamble for 20 million, which makes sense because we don't know what he'll be like. This guy got tried and tested and failed twice because he got relegated at a team as well as couldn't break into Man City. And then when they put him out on loan with that relegation thing, he still went to a championship team. Now, if he's player of the season for Sheffield Wednesday, we've got a player who was capable of being player of the season on loan at Sheffield Wednesday for half the season, coming back. And we don't talk about him being a left back for Man United. So why would this guy be a central midfielder for Manchester United? It's the same team. It's 6 months apart. I just think they're valid points. But he is a very good midfielder, very tall, very quick, covers a lot of ground. I want that. I want athleticism. I want box to box. We do need power, pace, and aerial threat in midfield. It's something we lack drastically. I've always said an Unana that kind of build player from Villa would be perfect. But if it's 20 million, I think there's might be better players out there playing at the top level for 20 million. For the same age.
What does 20 million get you in the current market? That's another question, especially if you're Man United. It's one thing being Hull coming with 20 million on the table. It's another thing being Man United.
That's what I mean. 20 million in Europe will get you a better player than 20 million out of the Championship.
I don't think we're getting for 20 anyway.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to say. Like a 20 million pound player in the Championship. And he's not the best midfielder in the Championship.
I think you're looking at I think you're looking at 30 mil. I would say. I don't know what Southampton.
He's valued at 17.
Valued at 17, but I think if we go knocking, then it's likely to be close to 25 plus add-ons, making it to 30 mil. I think it'd be for me if we were going to go ahead and do it as fourth choice, it'd be a last ditch deal for me.
You don't want to do it early, do you?
No. The thing is, sorry, Mark, for interrupting you. I just need to add this to the stage. It's very important. This is one of the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that Man United want to sell Manuel Ugarte to bring a third midfielder. That Man United are prepared to head into next season with Ugarte as their fourth choice if they cannot move him on. So again, I think this link depends on Ugarte getting sold, and it won't be an easy sell. I think it will be something that will happen at the end of this end of the window. Ugarte will go to the World Cup. He will be in the bubble, play for Uruguay, and come back to preseason, and then things will start happening. So again, it will be something last minute.
I'd say then, by that logic, pal, we'd be better off keeping Ugarte for you.
Can I just point out, why do you think Ugarte would want to leave the club? It's probably paying him higher wages than he'll get anywhere else. We always talk about players moving on. The problem with Man United, we can't move anyone and we pay him too much.
I'd say we'd be better off doing that. And then if we're going to keep Ugarte as fourth choice, we'd be better off doing it, because I don't think we'll get any more than 20 mil anyway.
I agree. And I want to see Freights and the Fletchers and that coming through. And this is the kind of player holding them up. So there's my question to you, Jarvis. Would you not prefer to see either the Fletchers or Freights come through than buy a 22-year-old for 20 million? If he's fourth choice. Because the fourth choice is surely your Collier is another option there. There's another midfielder. We've got players who are capable of being on the same level as him, in my opinion. So...
Well, the thing is, we try to offload Manuel Ugarte. There have been several links that he's on his way out, and the club is also depending on selling these players. And I think everything depends on this. But the plan, let's say, what's your take on the transfer plan accordingly? Is it 80 million, 50 million, 20 million, 3 midfielders in, and need to sell Ugarte to make it happen?
Look, I don't think what we're going to get in the press is accurate anyway.
No,
I never have done. One or two things will happen. We'll get stiffed in the transfer market. We'll get no more than 4 players, or they'll surprise us. 3-3, the fuckers. I told you, 98 minutes, 90 plus 7. There was 6 minutes of added time, and they've scored a 90 plus 7.
Yeah, and you know why? Because Everton started time wasting.
Time wasted, docking. Unbelievable, the pricks. Oh well, it's still No, that should be it now. I mean, it's still fucked over. So I would consider that we'll either get three or four players, or we might get 5 or 6, and we might get surprised. It's going to be one or the other. And I kind of think ultimately, if you can't sell Ugarte for money that we need to get in, you may as well just keep him, because his salary is probably only 8 million a year, 9 million a year, something like that. So you may as well just keep him on that and keep him as fourth choice. You know, for him, he's got what, 2 years left on his contract, 2 or 3 years.
The problem is his shite. He can't do anything on the pitch. He don't suit the way we want to play.
But we bought him, Jarvis, and we all knew he was shit. We all knew he was shit, and we bought him. So the three of us who look at football in 3 different ways, when he wasn't the right player, he wasn't wanted by any of the clubs, and we bought him. We now pay the price for paying him big money and bringing him in, and he didn't play.
Yeah,
that's Man United's transfer strategy, in a nutshell.
Which we can't do again. You know, we're wasting money on Donny van der Beek. What a player he was till he comes to United. You know, we can't be doing this. So we've got to make sure whatever we do, we make it a tangible transaction rather than just a swap or a transaction for the sake of making.
Put it this way: if it was Man City, they'd be paying him off. Right, we don't want you. We're bringing in so-and-so. We'll pay off the rest of your contract. Goodbye.
Yeah.
We'll find you a club and we'll pay out whatever it takes to level that contract out, and you go play for them.
Yeah. So
we spoke about that before with Sancho, Rashford, other people. Like, that's what a real team would do. But
we dicked about with Sancho for his full contract length. Paid him
300,000 a week. Oh, well, he got his 25% wage cut. So
ridiculous amount of money for being a dick. And we did that. You know, we paid Rashford, we kept him around, paid him this money. We might end up with him in the summer at this point, because we don't know what's happening with them in Barcelona. So we're paying all these players money. And if we can't get rid of them, then it's like I said about Tottenham. If Tottenham go down, which probably they won't now, it looks like West Ham will go. But if Tottenham go down, then, take the players with them. You don't leave. You're on your contract. You're not leaving. You know,
you've got to take a 50% wage cut. None of them got relegation release clauses.
No, have they bollocks? No.
They haven't. It's all 50% wage cut.
Yeah, and rightly so. And I think ultimately, player power has got to stop. All this player power nonsense now has to stop. It's got to stop. At the door of the new manager, whoever the new gaffer is, he needs to get him in the summer. You kick up a fuss, you start crying, you start moaning. I hear you speak out of turn in public. You're done. You're gone. You're history. You won't play for me. I don't care where we finish as a football club. You won't do it. And we've got to start with this. So I think if we go back and we buy this player early in the window because he's not going to the World Cup and he's on a 6-week break in the Bahamas or whatever, it's bad business for us. It's not the type of business we've got to be doing. We've now, whatever happens, whether it's Carrick or whether it's somebody else, the deal needs to be done now. Like I said, in May, and the first 2 or 3 players need to be procured, ready to come at the end of May. That's what should be happening now. None of this fucking about. We've got Champions League football. We don't need to concentrate now on the league. On what you do, what you want to do, Carrick. We don't care. Leave us alone. We won't be speaking to you for the next 4 weeks because we've got to do this, and this. I'm fucking fed up of being embarrassing and immature in the boardroom. Can't be done. Can't be done anymore. So I don't think he's the right player for us until, or maybe, we get our top targets. They've got to come in first.
Well, Stu, for me, I think these are the type of signings that I find intriguing. I find them very exciting because I believe there are a lot of gems out there, and what we hear through the outlets, the ITKs and all of them is often hyping of their own players. But when something like this comes out from nothing, it makes me a little bit exciting. I've been looking at the stats. I've watched a couple of compilations. I have a fairly small, but I have a sense of what type of player is. And when I look at compilations, I don't look at the beautiful goals or the dribblings or the fantastic tackles they put in. I look at how they shield the ball, how aware they are. Do they use both feet? Do they receive the ball on the foot furthest away from the opponent? Small details. And as far as I can see right now, I feel that he has these elements in his game. He's also, from what I can see, very quick on the ground for being a big lad. He's 6'2", and he's very quick coming up into press. And I think he's a kind of a ball winner and a guy who can shield the defense in the way he plays the game, and not only trying to win the ball, but also just running besides the opponent and just pushing him off the danger area, as we talk about zone 14. If you are a DM, keep them away. Try to get them out of the way, to the flanks, to the half spaces, all the way to the sideline. And also, I saw a couple of shots he made, a couple of goals, both with right and left foot. So I see a potential there. And for me, coming in as the fourth choice, wouldn't have any problems. But that's just my take. I don't know enough about this place. If any of you have any further information about this guy, let me know. So let's just go to the breakdown and have a look. So Shay Charles is his name. He's 189 centimeters tall, and that's 6'2" in your guys' language. He's 22 years old. He will be 23 in November. His preferred foot is right, but as far as I can see on the compilations, he's used his left foot as often, so I would say he's two-footed. His transfer value, according to FootMob, is 14 million euros. He plays for Northern Ireland, and this is what makes it interesting. His contract ends next summer, so he will go into his last year of his contract, and that's why I don't think we are talking about 30 millions. I think we are talking about 20 millions. This is where we will land if we go for this deal. He predominantly plays as a DM. He also plays as a central midfielder. And also, I think he can operate as a fullback if needed, according to other sites. His player traits, aerial duels won 82%. That's very good for a 6'2" player. 82% defensive contributions. As I said, he's a defensive shield in the way he plays. Touches 81%, so he likes to be involved in the play. Goals and shot attempts. I don't put much emphasis on those two traits when it comes to a DM, but it's a bonus. It's a bonus, 77% and 83 percentile. If we go and look at his history, he comes from the Manchester City under-18s. He's an FA Youth Cup winner. He went to the academy of City, then went to Southampton, spent a year in Sheffield Wednesday, back to Southampton. And Mark mentioned he haven't been playing regularly this year, but if you look at his injury history, he had a hamstring injury this season, and he was out from 25 of 10th to 18 of January. So he was out 86 days. So we missed 18 games this season. So I don't think the Southampton manager don't prefer him. I think he was injured, and this is the reason why he didn't play as many games this season. If we go back, look at his stats in the championship this year: 3 goals, 2 assists, 21 started games in 31 matches. So even missing so many games, still have been 31 matches on the pitch, 2,093 minutes played. His average rating is 7.16. That's very good. And 6 yellow cards for being a DM. That's very normal. If we drop down and look at his FB referables, for example, his goals, shooting type with his left foot, not too bad for a right-footed player. And this is his stats per 90. When it comes to goals and non-penalty goal shots and all of this, it's a lot of greens in the 80+ bracket on most of them. 3 goals, 2 assists. This is where I like to see passing abilities. He has a 84.3% passing accuracy and successful passes 73.6. Accurate long balls 77.9 percentile. That's quite high. Successful crosses. Well, he's not the type of player who plays a lot on the flanks, so that's not his strength of the game. Only 0.86 dribbles per match. That's yeah. Well, he's a passer of the ball, not a dribbler. But this is where it gets interesting. Duels won. He's in the 55.8% of all duels he wins. So he wins the majority of his duels. Aerial duels.
1 out of 2 tackles, Jarvis.
Yeah. Well, you can say that, but if you look at statistics, it's mainly 50-50 in every game.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to say most players should hopefully win 1 out of 2 tackles.
Yeah. But, he is in the 80th percentile out of all DMs. So again, that's good per 90. Aerial duels won 52.9. Not too strong for a tall player like him. 66.4 percentile. That's not super impressive. There's room for improvement. But also, I always look at interceptions and recoveries. It tells me how he reads the game. And interceptions, he's in the 88th percentile, and recoveries is in the 77th percentile. So again, I think his stats looks good. So this is just my breakdown of the player and the little I've seen. So for me, I think it looks good for being the 4th choice. And for me, I would be confident going in with a big, tall guy come in to see out the games, going up 2-0 at halftime. We know by now Carrick is the type of manager who likes to maybe revert into a back 5 just to see out the games halftime. And having a player like this would probably give Michael Carrick more an arsenal of weapons in his toolbox to throw in and see out games, because we know it doesn't work with Ugarte. So this is just what I have found so far, but I'm curious to hear what's your take, and also the same with the guys in the live chat.
A couple of things. 14 million euro. Where's that valuation come from? Because that, to me, you wouldn't touch that with a barge bowl. 14 million. Yeah, I don't understand that. If we are looking at a seasoned international of any kind of stature, you should be looking way above 14 million euros. 14 million euros is what we are paying now, teams across the globe, for 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds. What did Hendrick go to Real Madrid for? 30 million, wasn't it? Something like that. Yeah.
We went for more than that. That youngster we bought from Colombia, we bought him for more than that. What did we pay for Diego Leon?
I can't remember. Something like that. Yeah. But what I'm into, where I'm at with it still is that we're not going to get him for a 14, 15. We're going to be paying 25.
Well, he's going into his last year of the contract. Now, I think also a thing that we need to consider is Southampton came in 4th in the championship and are going into the playoffs. And if they don't get a promotion, I think it will be tough for them to keep him with just 1 year of left of his contract. So then I think they will be willing to sell.
I think they'll go up Southampton. I think they're the best out of a bad bunch at the Champions League championship team. Hamstring injury is also a big eye opener for me. 22 years old, hamstring injury. It's not good, and that's really down to his height. He's picked up a hamstring injury. No red cards. Big one for me. Like,
see the thing about no red cards. Did you also see how often he gets dribbled past because he doesn't make a tackle?
Yeah, couple of issues. Red cards.
They go together, don't they? If in a DM thing, you 0.6 on his dribble pass. Look, oranges, the bad stacks. These are
dribble
bad.
past, 0.69 per game.
He's scared to make a tackle as a holding midfielder. That's how I read stats. That's why I don't go by stats. I go by what I see. But
so I'm wondering whether he's more of an 8, my old mate.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he's a better 8 than a 6.
Have you got his heat map, Jarvis?
And I'm wondering.
Yes, I do. I have his heat map. So who should
be comparing
with?
Can you Hayden Hackney, same league, best player in the league as a holding midfielder. Most of us have linked him to it. That's who I would choose if I was taking a holding midfielder from there. So, and obviously Middlesbrough, Southampton, exactly right next to each other in the league. It's a very, I feel, really good comparison.
Similar. Strange
Interesting choice, Mark, as always. Sorry, it's lagging a little bit because I'm bringing up a new page now. Okay. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah,
so you have Shay Charles on the left. You have Hayden Hackney on the right. So these are their heat maps. So this is Charles's heat map on the left.
He's an 8 then. He's an 8, isn't he?
Really. So you see more as an 8.
Yeah, he's an 8. Yeah, and Hackney actually.
But you got to look at how the team's performed.
Hackney's a better, deeper player. Charles is a better attacking player. There you go. That's exactly what that reads to me. That Hackney's better.
Funny you say that because Hackney's got more goals and more assists this season.
Funny, yeah, I know, but he plays deeper. But yet none of them play where the 6 should be.
No.
None of them, neither of them play where the 6 should be, where the biggest red heat map should
and that's what I mean. When you look at Championship football, the pace, the crosses into the box, and where the 6 is, actually they don't use 6s; they use 2 8s. If they were going to play a double pivot, I'd class them as box to box, and that's why I love the Championship.
Probably both 8s.
It's up and down, isn't it? So that's why I just thought I'd say that, Jarvis, because everyone's raved about Hayden Hackney for the last 18 months. And even more so once we brought in Carrick, and he was the perfect player if you were looking for a young one, because Carrick knows him, right? Carrick bring him through the first thing. But Charles is known by Wilcox, and for me, that's just 2 people going to bat heads over a choice of a young midfielder, which both should be playing, as Stu said, bottom half of the Premier League.
Yeah, they're both more 8s, definitely. Just looking at the heat map there and when they appear, but. Look, he's obviously a talented footballer. He's likely to play in the Premier League, which is more than I've done. So, got to give credit's due to him. I just don't think he's right for us. We've got bigger fish that we've got to catch first before we go to somebody like Charles or a Hackney or whoever else.
That's a good segue, Stu, because I started the show by saying the plot thickens and presenting this 3 grade of midfielders that we're going to sign. We know by now we are talking about 80 million. So if let's say the Daily Mail is true when it comes to this, but we know that players like Elliot Anderson have been referred as up until 125 million pounds, and Tonali has been 100 million. Same go from Bruno G, and the only one who has been mentioned around the 80 million bracket is Baleba. Is he going to be our number 1 star signing when it comes to midfielders?
Fucking hell, no.
Mark?
He's had 2 good games this season, Jarvis. 2 good games.
He started to pick up. Yeah, he started to pick up. I'll agree on that.
Yeah, because now he's got to play for his transfer.
Yeah, he's starting to pick up.
Playing for the World Cup, isn't it?
Pick up. Yeah, he's playing all right.
For me, it's Walton and Tonali are the 2 favourites for me. Anderson's more or less committed, and he's to City. Walton, everyone links to Liverpool. Tonali,
Anderson's gone. City.
If I'm getting someone out of Newcastle, I'm getting Lewis Hall. If you forget Tonali, I'd rather take Hall as a left back. And that's why we started seeing the Edersons being linked 2 weeks ago and Baleba staying as the number 1, because no one is being linked with Baleba. Everyone's being linked with Tonali, Anderson, Walton. So do we want Baleba?
I'm still happy
that's
with
a red
Baleba.
flag. Always has been for me. If you go for a player no one else is being linked with, and you're at the top of the league, it's a red flag.
I'm quite happy with Baleba. I like him as a person. I'll tell you for two reasons. And you are right, Mark. He's been shite all season, except the last 3 games. He's performed at a level way better than what he's not as good as last season, but what he's got.
No, but
there's a couple of good things about him. He's left-footed for a start, which is very rare for a DM. Very rare for a DM, and it'll offer us a lot of good balance. He's quick across the ground, likes a tackle. He's all right, Baleba. I know people don't like him. They don't want to pay 80 million for him. That's absolutely fine. But you just watch his movement and his awareness when he's on his game, his awareness of his positional play. It's as good as. It really is as good as. But he's not making headlines this year because everybody's focusing on Wharton. Everybody's focusing on Anderson. We must get Anderson. We must get Wharton. They're not focusing because they don't think Baleba's the real deal. If he comes in
below Stu, and outside of the Premier League, names are coming up before Baleba to other clubs.
Yeah, I know. But for me, it's not one that I would turn away from because I know what it's like in the middle of the park as a DM. I know how hard it is in there. I know it's very difficult. You look at Rodri, he makes it very easy. Okay, you look at Anderson and these players, they make it look very easy, but it isn't. And if you haven't got the players around you that can circumvent certain things during a game, i.e. De Bruyne with Rodri, Silva with Rodri, i.e. the crooner, i.e. Casemiro, that type of things. Sorry, I've got to take this. It's not an easy fix. So, you don't want Baleba. That's absolutely fine for people, but don't write him off because he's better than we think. Sorry, guys, got to say this.
That's all right. Jarvis, he is a good player. We know that. We've seen it with our own eyes, and he was capable of doing a job. But when it comes to being linked, it's just Premier League proven. I don't feel he classes as Premier League proven because of that one good season, one bad season. That's not proven, is it? That's capable of playing in the Premier League, and now I've shown inconsistencies. So when I see Danny and Sean and that in the chat going, Sangari, half the price from Lens.
Yeah.
But we know there's been a real big push on United will go for first choice players that are Premier League proven, meaning they build their 11 around Premier League proven. But if they bring anyone outside of that starting 11, they can come from outside the league. I've always said, someone just said we need someone close to Casemiro. That's Ederson. They're like for like, but without the experience, right? 35 million. Now we're talking a 50 million. It was a 35 million buyout clause, and he's been frozen out. So where someone got a 50 million bloody fee for him, they're in like fantasy land because he hasn't been allowed to leave, and he's dropped off a cliff a bit like Baleba. Because that happens to a player sometimes when you're going, fuck's sake, just let me go. Like teams want me. I don't want to play here anymore. And you drop. And I felt Baleba played like that this year.
He did.
If we go for him, we know it is a toss of a coin because it's one good, one bad. But
I think he has. I think he has dropped off a cliff, Baleba, by the way. And I think he has not been where we need him to be. But first and foremost, nobody's going to replace Casemiro's goals, so we can wipe that completely.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Holding midfielder to get those goals.
Yeah. Nobody's going to replace Casemiro's goals. But I keep telling, my point was that these great players like Casemiro, like Rodri, they've had great players around them. If we fit players around Baleba, you're going to see a proper 6. You're missing the big point. You can all come on and say he's shit, but you're missing the big picture. It isn't just buying one player. This is what I've been trying to say for weeks, that we've got to get the right combination. So if you don't want Baleba, none of you are going to get Anderson. None of you are going to get Wharton.
I totally agree.
Who the fuck do you want?
And right now I'm going Baleba and Mainu. Baleba and Mainu. I can't see that working at all.
I'm not saying it's Baleba Mainu. I'm saying it could be Baleba and somebody else, or it could be, Stiller and Mainu. It could be anybody. But the problem is, it's got to be a combination. So we're not just buying one, we're buying two. And that's how it is, you know.
And that's how I see the Baleba deal, Stu. You're spot on, because I see it's like I can't buy Baleba without buying height to go alongside him, because whoever the combination I play out of Baleba or Mainu needs height alongside him, because we love Casemiro, and you're right, but he defies gravity when he goes up for headers. He shouldn't be winning those headers. His timing and his runs, he barely gets off the floor, and he still makes it in front of the defender and gets the header. That you can teach it, but you can't teach it. You know that, like that kind of run. It's like, how the fuck's he got to that?
Was Casemiro? Here's a question then: was Casemiro scoring 8 goals, headed goals, a season at Real Madrid?
I didn't need to, but he did still. All his goals were headed goals at Real Madrid, pretty much, and he'd still get around 5-6 a season. But how many goals do Real Madrid score a season?
Exactly.
So there was a train.
I'm talking about the balance. He has manipulated himself with his heading ability, Manchester United up the league with his goals. That's what he's done. You're never going to find that. So he's
always done it. Back post headers, in at the top corner, things like that. He's done it all his career.
Say goodbye to Casemiro, and we've got to say goodbye to 8 goals, because we're not going to find that.
No,
they really aren't. We're not going to find that. So you've got to get the right combination. We're not going to get the players we want. We know this. You know, Tonali would be a great player for us, but you've got to find somebody who complements Mainu, who complements Tonali. You're going to put Tonali in a 6 with Mainu? I don't think so.
No, yeah.
You're going to put Guimaraes in a 6 with Mainu? Absolutely not. But do you put Tonali and Guimaraes together? Absolutely. So what do you do with Mainu? And this is the problem we've got.
Well, I've said it before. I don't think Mainu starts next season if we go out and buy 2 midfielders. You're buying 2 which replace Mainu, because you don't buy players for the bench. You buy 2 players to start, right? You can talk about dovetailing and playing the best combinations. That can happen. But in general, if you go buy 2 midfielders, they need to be starting, because you take your starting players, you replace them onto the bench. That's how you progress a team forwards. And if you don't do that, then you're in trouble.
Look, absolutely. I'm massively. We know what we need. We know we need 2 players, and you know, does Baleba come through? I don't know. But all I'm saying is, you will see a different type of player. You will see a better Baleba if he comes through the door. You know, look at what's happening with Aston Villa right now. Villa lost against. I can't remember. They lost yesterday, didn't they? Tottenham beat Villa yesterday, right? And and Forest beat Villa as well. And the biggest thing, McGinn was injured against Forest, and he was out yesterday. This is the point. This is a whole point about the way you build teams, and we haven't been able to build these teams. So when we do lose a Casemiro, you can't replace him with the current squad that we've got. So
hold that thought, Stu, because boxing comes in and say nobody's replacing Casemiro. I definitely would have kept him for one more season, and this is why I'm taking this comment out, because there were some cryptic comments coming out today from Cunha. I don't know if you read this, but he said Mateus Cunha on Casemiro. Yeah, we don't know in the end of how it is with this contract, and then of course everyone hopes there's a little bit more. I know it's harder than we talked about, but in the end, you never know. You never know. That's what I'm saying.
Well, he's got the option for one more season. It can be triggered until he's out of contract.
Is his fellow Brazilian teammates saying we never know? Is there a chance that actually Casemiro will stay on for one more year, one last dance?
No.
You know, this came out today. This is the interview that Cunha. I'm quite surprised no one picked up on this.
I don't think we could, in all good faith, continue with Casemiro next season, because you're going to put a 2-year midfield transformation on top of where we are today. It will take 2 years to transform the club, because we've got to pay him another 18 million quid over that period of time. He'll leave again on a free. I just know if we're going to do it, we've got to do it now. This is the year. Said a few weeks ago, you've got to completely start afresh. You've got to rip up everything. You've got to start afresh. You've got to put in a manager, and you've got to put £500,000 on the table. £500 million. I said million there. Fucking hell. £500 million on the table. That's what you've got to do, and you've got to go for broke. Because, other than this, there are certain things that are going to happen, and we are going to just be on this perpetual cycle. Perpetuity is staring us in the face right now, ladies and gentlemen, of failure. Perpetuity is staring us in the face of failure. It really is. So we've got to do something. You've got to make a statement. Manchester United are back. Fucking watch out.
Stu, I sort of 50-50 with you on that one. I agree, but there are certain players in clubs and history and that you do anything just to keep them to help grow if you are lacking in experience.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah,
because we can't buy time in experience. This show started about talking about getting a fucking championship midfielder in for 20 million. I'd rather give £20 million wages to Casemiro and keep him for 1 year, bring in 2 more midfielders, and he becomes the 4th choice. Now, whether he would take that, I don't know. He's fallen in love with the club. He's not the first player, and he's certainly not going to be the last to do that at Manchester United and just Manchester in general. Once you fall into the Manchester lifestyle, everyone raves about it. It's better than London these days. It's safer than London, that's for sure. So I would do whatever it took to keep him there, do his coaching badges, everything. Amazing. Doesn't he take his kids out of school? You know all the family side of things for coming to his faults, right? And it would work better than bringing in a young 22-year-old midfielder because we need to buy an experienced midfielder, whoever it is, to go alongside. As you said, you've already said that tonight, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Yep. And that's why I agreed with Maguire's extension.
That was a good move.
Casemiro extension, I would agree with. And I need an experienced striker. I need a spine of experience. Doesn't have to play, but I do need to come on to see out the game. We watched the Bayern Munich game. Ironically, who came on in the dying moments? The one we were talking about coming to United.
Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, look, it really is a good point. I mean, we take 30 million quid off the table for us to use by keeping Casemiro. I totally agree. Yeah, I've got no problems with it, and I can see the clambering of it. But he was a bit. He was done by 60 minutes yesterday, 65 minutes.
We know that, right? We know that.
Yeah. But he lengthened his time recently, hadn't he?
He still played 90, didn't he?
Yeah, but yesterday he started to fade by 60. Kobe came into his own, had a really good game, and kind of moved on from there and helped Casemiro out. So I do tend to agree with that, but he would have to be 4th choice. We've got to do something. We have to go for broke this year. We must do it. And I'm adamant by it. I'm adamant. I read a brilliant article by Davide Ancelotti today. You would be amazed at how switched on about the game he is. Completely switched on from a coaching perspective. And I was absolutely mesmerized by it. What he was talking about, and he was talking about the basics of 4-4-2 and how you can defend against it and how you can attack against it, and the different varieties of the 4-4-2. It was absolutely brilliant to read and to digest and take it on. And I just started thinking, we must have these types of people in at Manchester United, even if it's for a short period of time, 2 years. 18 months, you must get these people in the door. These are the ones that are going to take you to where you are. Look at David Moyes. Just at this point in time, he's used all his expertise and his experience, knew the right time to bring on an absolute live wire to ruffle up the Manchester City Feathers. Didn't quite work for him tonight because they couldn't defend, but he got them 2 goals up, which enabled them to stay in the game. And this is the type of forward-thinking management we need. You know, and I'm with Jarvis. You know, Jarvis has raised certain things about Carrick, and I raised certain things about Carrick. I don't believe that Carrick can do that. And you know, there's rumours that Iraola is nailed on to go to Chelsea. If I was him, I'd stay well clear of that basket case of a club. If you watch them play today, they don't give a fuck. They're only interested in the FA Cup now. They are. Cole Palmer's penalty. Cole Palmer's penalty, by the way, was an absolute disgrace. And it just isn't what I would consider, you know, looking at other clubs and the way other clubs are trying to develop. We must go for experience. We must go for experience. And it has to be the right people. So, I don't know.
Talking about experience, I don't know if either of you watched my review show yesterday. Our season's done now. We're done for the year. Yeah. We've got 3 games left to play, but we're done for the year. It doesn't matter where we finish. We got Champions League football, right?
Yeah.
How do you get experience, Shay? What's the number one way to get experience?
Play. I
have a question for everyone in here. Well, I have 2 questions. 1, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, why not? And 2,
cheeky.
And 2, youngsters. Play bloody more youngsters now. I want to see Lacey getting 45 minutes. I want to see Fletchers. I want to see them. The results don't matter. Get that experience along Casemiro from a Fletcher. You know, Mainu's playing for his games, rotate them through. Lacey, well, come on, Ahmad's having a mare, and Bumo's dropping off a cliff at the moment. Lacey, come on, let's see what you've got. Let's get a Jai or someone up on the left. Let's give them a chance, right? Because there's no pressure on them now to perform. If you watched, I know some of the chat will remember, but do you remember Mantaro coming on? He played 10 minutes and he absolute shit the bed. He was scared. He did not give the ball away. He didn't take anyone on.
I mentioned
he took that saying, you know, when they put their arm around you, let's go out there and enjoy it. And just remember, keep it simple. Oh, for fuck's sake, mate. He didn't mean just pass it square. He meant take someone on when you got a choice. Yeah. But that's what we need, right? Lemons has been superb. Well, let's get Brian Deere some games so we can get him sold if that's who we're going to replace, you know, or to give Heaton a chance out.
I've got one further. I'd cancel VTech at Bristol City because they're finished now and get him in for the last 3. I'd play him for the last 3. I'd cancel his loan because I think his loan is till June 30th, isn't it? I think.
Sean's just said Kakonki. Kakonki is a perfect replacement at left back. He's a little bit too young, inexperienced, needs to go out on loan, but experience. Well, fucking play him in the first team right now. Luke Shaw looks done. You know, he obviously done whatever it took to play that game. We weren't expecting him to play. It's worked for Heaven. Let's see if it works for a few others. But does everyone else agree? Everyone must have some ideas about what to do for the last 3 games. You two, I certainly do myself. And I always talk about the youngsters. And I know Sean, obviously, United versus everyone, are always talking about the youngsters. But they need games. And if they've not been out on loan, then this is the best time for it, right? If they're not out on loan.
We only need one more win, don't we? And we're guaranteed third. I think one more win guarantees third, doesn't it?
Well, we need to get 69
Well, we're
points.
6 points ahead, so 9 points left. So, yeah, we need basically one more win. And even the 6 points is maybe enough. Because I can't see
news is
the last 3.
Jarvis is done for his prediction. He was screwed.
I'm close.
So am I, mate.
You are. I'm close. Close.
What did you say, Mark? Did you say 69, dude?
I said 69. You said 65, didn't you, Shay? 66, and we're on 64. So they're both on the table.
Do you know what? We'll either end up on 67 or 70. Where are we?
Yeah, we can't get 69, can we?
No, we can't get 60.
No, 71.
71, sorry. Yeah, 71. So we can't
73.
There's maximum 9 points to play for.
No, we're on 64 right now, so 9 points, 73.
So we get 73 then. So we can't get 66 unless we get 2 draws. So
by playing the youth, it's possible. But yeah, that's just a off the cuff thing there. But I genuinely mean it. I think it's something a lot of other channels who just want to follow the news don't talk about. But, you know, you're tactical, we're tactical, and a few others are who are in the chat. I know Rich was in there earlier. This is perfect opportunity, and these are the times you've got to make it work in your favour, even if it's to get sales. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
Ugarte, you might be crap, but we need to sell you. Go have a good 3 games.
And we're away at Sunderland, aren't we, the weekend? 3 o'clock kickoff Saturday. Has it got Sunderland this week? Yeah, sure. It's 3 o'clock.
Sunderland 3 o'clock. Then we're Forest.
Then we're Forest.
And Forest won't be. They'll be resting everyone when they're in the Europa League final.
Yeah, and they're pretty much safe now, aren't they, Forest?
Yeah, with that win.
They are.
Win with their B team as well. They rotated players.
Yeah, I know. So, and then so.
And Sean, I do mean cameos for the youngsters. I don't mean play 90 minutes.
No, cameos. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Tottenham West Ham. Wow.
That's big, isn't
it? So I don't know. I think it's going to be a hugely interesting summer. None of us will agree with who we want in midfield, and that's brilliant because that's how it should be. We all should view the game totally different.
I think if you took the Premier League thing out, that a lot of people have got in the back of their head, the Premier League proven, I think the names on the list would shrink, and we'd go for sort of like the same sort of 10 players. But it's when people start talking about, because Gomez, where's that gone? That was an easy deal.
It was poor. Him and
again, and that's where I put him in the Baleba category because 1 week he's good, 1 week he's out unreal, and then he's shit the following, and you're like, what?
Yeah, talking about names, guys. We have been linked to Matheus Fernandes, Alex Scott, and Tyler Adams. The Bournemouth duo has emerged of interest. This is from Daily Mail Sports again. So these names seems to reoccur all the time, and also the Matheus Fernandes links feels stronger and stronger. Also, James Docker, or is it Bert, coming in from the Telegraph saying Man United are interested in signing West Ham United's Matheus Fernandes, and I think that will be on the agenda if they get relegated. And now it seems like West Ham is going down. I can't see him playing. Well, not a replacement. It's giving Manu competition, and he has to work for his bread and butter. You know, no one at Man United should feel secure. And I remember from the old days, all of these players used to sit on the bench. Giggs, Beckham, even Roy Keane at times. Goals, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, you sit on the bench.
What I mean by that,
it doesn't matter.
We're not being linked with enough players as the Casemiro replacement. We're being linked with a lot of players that I would put in the category of replacing Manu. That's what I meant by that. It's
yeah. But I feel no competition, not replacement.
I agree. But there was one other thing which we haven't touched on. The players we bring into this midfield, they really need to work with Fernandes up, you know, in that 10. Now, a few of them create a lot of chances themselves, but Fernandes comes and gets the ball, so that he's the creator.
Well, let me tell you something, gentlemen. If Mr. Ancelotti was to walk through the door, which he won't, but if he was, then his lad Davide, no fucking 10s. Basically, what I've been saying for fucking ages on this channel, you pay a single 6 and 2 8s. Yep. You don't pay a 10. And he won't, you know, and this is where I think we need to be. I think we need to kill the 10.
Keeps the triangle.
I think the 10 needs to go. Yeah, I think the 10 needs to go. And you run the 9 as the hybrid, you know, or you play the full 9 and you run the 2 hybrids as your Mbeumo and your Cunhas, for example. You run those as your hybrids. You run 2 8s. You run a solid 6, a proper 6, though, a proper solid 6, 2 8s with Manu and a Bruno as an example. You run 2 hybrids that operate in a smiling U-shaped markers. You must have played with that before, and he played a focal point. You leave that fucker, that focal point, up the fucking. You leave him away from the fucking defensive side of the game. You leave him up there, and that's where he's fighting for the ball. So I think we should go and get the Premier League's greatest striker ever to walk the face of the earth. Forget everybody, and that is my old mate Barry from Everton. Boxed in with 2.
I thought we were going to see Harry Kane. I was sure.
Yeah, no. But again, the point is, and here's the real and here's the real key to everything about this kid. You can laugh at him as much as you like, and we all do. Laugh at him because he can't score in a brothel. But fuck me, can he come up and he can piss you off, and he can make space for players around him. That's what that type of player does. That's
and he's relentless in his work rate.
He's relentless. Yes. Relentless.
That's how he got his first goal against City.
Off, you tap it in. That's his job, isn't it? Pin the defender, back him, keep pushing him back towards his own goal, lay the ball off, and that's what he does. And if you saw Everton play when against us, that's what he tried to do. He just helps it round the corner, and there's already a runner off of him. So it makes perfect sense. Jamie, I just saw what you said. You thought none of us predicted top 4. That was me. 69 points was always going to get us top 4. Stu had us in 5th.
I did, yeah.
Jarvis had us in the European places. I was the prediction of top 4.
Jarvis had 8.
Because I wanted to go with 69 points. I will say that.
Jarvis was 8th, I was 5th, and Mark was 4th. That's how we predicted at the very start of the season. I did say 5th.
I'm looking forward to next year's prediction, by the way, next season. And this is bygones. There's nothing we can do about it. I was wrong. You were right. So let's move on. Grace and boxing is calling you out, Stu. So who's a proper solid number 6 then?
So for me, the proper 6 that I would go and take, we won't get. And we know who that is, and that's Rodri. So you've asked me who the proper 6 is. The proper 6 is Rodri. You know it, and I know it, and so does everybody else on this chat and on this panel. And we're not going to get that.
There's a few out there, but they're not.
No, but he's the proper 6. But there are good 6s out there. Sander Berge is definitely one of them. Baleba can play as a solid 6.
Sporting, I swear by him. I've seen enough.
Can play as a 6. Lukic is okay. Lukic can for Fulham can play as a 6. There are some good, solid players out there, but the solid 6 boxing 100% is Rodri, and we just aren't going to get him.
Kante's still playing.
Oh well, yeah, Kante. Yeah,
we can go get Kante. He's still playing.
Yeah. He
is Makelele still around? Can we pick him up from China or somewhere?
he's over with Ronaldo and that, isn't
he? Yeah, over there. I mean, there are some really good 6s out there, but boxing, you would go Rodri all day long.
Yeah, Ruben Neves. Sean's just said Ruben Neves. It's an option. Out and out 6. Fatalia, however you say him, the Portuguese 6.
Yeah,
both Ruben Neves and him.
It's worth noting, guys, that one of the best 6s or midfielders, low-end midfielders on the planet, Vitinha, started out at Wolves, and people were taking the piss out of him. Ended up going to Porto. Had a brilliant stint at Porto. Ends up at PSG.
Well, he was in the 9-man Wolves Portuguese team, wasn't he? With 9 Portuguese players. Yeah.
But look at Vitinha now. Everybody in here would take Vitinha. We just would. We wouldn't even bat an eyelid. Yeah, sorry, I understood your point, Rodri. Boxing. I did get that. Yeah, I did.
Would you care to read out Grace's comment?
Well, Grace was telling me he could play up front
as well. Sorry, Grace. So Dallo for the 6, and moving on. I don't think so.
Big off Grace.
The reason I like Premier Proven, by the way, is that it will give us a fighting opportunity the first third of the season to stay in touch with what we need, because the Championship now, the Premier League, is won in the first 7 games, 7 to 8 games. It's pretty much won. When you've got City probably getting maximum points or close to them in the first 7, you had Arsenal this season getting close to maximum. Liverpool started off pretty well, then went through this really bad phase. It makes it very, very difficult to catch up. So we need Premier League experience so that when they come through the door, and also bearing in mind, guys, and this is the importance of Premier League experience, particularly this season, is the World Cup finishes the end of July. We kick off mid-August. We need players that can come back from their break and hit the ground running. We can't afford, as good as a Stiller would be in many ways, to come in and not understand the Premier League. And when you look at the way that Wirtz has struggled at Liverpool, he had he didn't have a full pre-season, did he? Didn't they get him late? But it doesn't kind of work. So we do need to get these players in. So I think if we can buy Premier League proven, it'll be the right thing for us.
I got one for you, Stu. This one comes in from Helge. Big up Helge Skjerveland saying, did you guys see Schmeichel wants us to get Granit Xhaka as our number 6?
Yeah, again,
that's actually not the first choice, that's...
Yeah, again, I saw him against Wolves and he was okay in part. He wasn't brilliant in parts. He was okay in parts. But would he come in as experience for 18 months? Absolutely. Can he do it in the Premier League? Yes, he can. Sunderland are mid-table. They've come up, from the Championship. They didn't have him. He comes from Leverkusen, Championship winning team. There's a lot of logic attached to that. By the way, a lot of logic attached to it. Would I want Xhaka? No, zero. But there's a lot of logic.
On that pass to someone in the chat. I don't know who asked me. Yeah, it was Stian. Big up Stian. Say, can you put a heat map on Casemiro and Declan Rice? So this is the heat map. Casemiro on the left and Declan Rice on the right. So again. Looks for me that Declan Rice tends to go to his left, and Casemiro is more all over the place, like the more complete DM way.
Yeah. You never see Casemiro. You never see Rice on the right. Very rarely do you see him over there. Yeah, but I think he's been a bit substandard this year, Declan Rice. It's not had his best season, I don't think.
I could agree. But I also think that at Arsenal at the moment, they play too safe. They have no risks in their passes. You can see Ugarte standing there trying to run the diagonals, trying to run in behind, but no one is willing to give him the ball. No one is willing to play the risky pass because Arsenal are too afraid. They're so afraid for the break, the transition, and this is what Arsenal is all about at the moment. But could bring them the title again, but and also talking about the Xhaka, let's just compare him with Xhaka while we're at it. How do you play it? SXA? Xhaka? No, Granit.
Thing is, if you put in Granit, captain, he's only been there 1 year. He's got his whatever his contract is. He's done 1 year. We wouldn't get him, but he is a machine. He always has been, always will be. But he's a walking red card. But he seems not to.
Oh, he is. He's a Romero, a walking red card. Absolutely. But look at that as a heat map, as a 6. That's what they do.
That's Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
So it's important that centre circle.
How old is he? 32.
Granit Xhaka, let's just give me 2 seconds. I will have a quick look. Oh, he's 33. He's younger than Casemiro by 1 year.
Yeah, he's got better legs than Casemiro. Look, the logic behind
it will be 27th of September. He will be 34.
Yeah, the logic behind Schmeichel is sound.
Well.
But it's not something we can do.
While you guys have been doing the heat map and talking about Xhaka, I've done some AI searching.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear the top 5 recommended by AI to replace if money was no object?
Yes.
Stu's going to like these. Number 5, Baleba.
Told you.
Number 4, João Neves.
Yeah.
Number 3 would be Rodri.
Yeah.
Number 2, Declan Rice.
Okay.
And I can feel Jarvis starting to smile. Number 1, Tchouaméni.
Wow.
Based on all stats, height, everything like that.
There you go.
money was no object, and you could go get anyone. That's the 5. It
So
gave me 10 before.
So you can buy 3 out of them, can't you? So you can buy 3 of them. Then you could get Baleba, you could get Tchouaméni, you could get João Neves.
Yeah, I was really surprised. And the top 10 was Tchouaméni, Baleba, Walton, Ederson, João Neves, Tonali, Elliot Anderson, Hillman, and Baldi and Danilo as wild cards in 9 and 10. So yeah, it's interesting. I do use a lot of AI for research and that with work, as long as you're asking the right questions and you know, really structure that question, not who's the best DM.
I can't use AI in my line of work. I can see it a mile off.
Oh God, yeah, it's so obvious to see it. But I mean, for research,
I can see it a mile off. Yeah.
But really interesting. For it rates his stats, Baleba's right up there. But I wasn't expecting Tchouaméni to come in as the number 1. We all 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, but not.
Yeah, normally.
Not now.
Grace requested Agume's heat map.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard because what league does he play in?
France. No, Sevilla. Sevilla. He plays in Spain.
Spanish league, and you know, it's a massive divide, like the French league.
Jamie, what's up with João Neves? We don't want you to kick off, no. But what's up with João Neves?
Yeah, but I think we all said so at the time. You know, no. Did any of us wanted Ugarte?
No, nobody wanted Ugarte.
It wasn't exciting.
Sporting didn't want Ugarte. PSG didn't want Ugarte. I'll tell you what, we'll fucking buy him, and we'll pay well over the top for him.
Bilal wants Ugarte's heat map. No, sorry, Bilal. Sorry.
He hasn't got a heat map, Bilal. He hasn't got one.
He's got the shower.
He's got a shower. He hasn't got a heat map.
It's very red on the bench. It's red. It's benchmark.
Vitinha is a great example of hard work, isn't he? You know, Vitinha. You know, he had that. He looks the same actually when he was at Wolves, but he put it to Porto. Talking of which, has anyone seen the Portuguese league?
No.
Am I right in saying that Benfica went through almost as invincibles, or is there a game left, or they Porto won the league?
They're not finished yet, so they must.
They're not finished yet, but they haven't lost the game yet, and they're about 8 points behind Porto because they've drawn too many games. Amazing. Just imagine being unbeaten all season and not winning the league, or when you're in a national league like York and I can't remember who else it was, 109 to 107 points. And 107 points, you don't get promoted.
We had that last year, Stu. So Worthing went up this year from National League South, but the year before with Dorking, Worthing, the top 4 were separated by 1 point, and anyone could have gone, and it all went to playoffs and everything.
It's such a shame, isn't it? Unluckily, Wrexham didn't make it. That was unreal. That Hull leapfrogged both Derby and Wrexham to get through. Salford City, somehow Salford City could have got automatic playoff, automatically promotion, didn't, and finished 4th. So they're in the playoffs. It's been absolutely brilliant. But you've seen the Scottish League for the first time ever. No, it looks like Hearts could take it. They beat Rangers 2-1 today. But at one point, both Hearts and Celtic were on the same points, and Rangers were a point behind. It's fucking unreal. What's happening this year with the leagues? It's been unreal in terms of
Benfica are second.
Yeah, they haven't lost, have they?
They must have games in hand, because you know how Sky on the app, it doesn't give you the full bloody table.
Yeah.
But Porto are top, have lost the game, but they've got 80 something points, and Benfica are second, and have won all their games bar with 1 draw and 0 losses.
It's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. So it's funny how the leagues this year, in particular, have really concertinaed up. And this again goes to fuel the argument that if we don't get it right this summer, we're going to be streets off again.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's the worry. That's the worry, Stu.
Crazy.
Talking about leagues, let's do 5 minutes take on the Premier League standings at the moment. Time to move on from the midfielders. Currently now the league is like this, so let's just bring it up. And if you see, Arsenal now is on 76 points, and City is on 71, one game in hand. So if they win, they will be on 74, so 2 points behind Arsenal, with only 3 games for Arsenal and 4 games for Manchester City. So how do you think the league will end up?
Arsenal champions.
What was your prediction?
Arsenal champions.
You think it's done?
Yes.
Yeah.
City haven't got enough for me. They struggled against Burnley, drew against Everton. They're not got enough for me. If you are Arsenal now, you are sitting pretty. You just got to make sure you win all your games 1-0. It's going to be and City are fucked.
So Arsenal, they have. I just want to go through Arsenal's games, Mark. They have West Ham away, Burnley at home, and Palace away.
Yeah,
Palace are likely to be in a European final.
Burnley are relegated.
Burnley are gone, and I think by the time they play West Ham will be gone. So I can't see that. Who have City got?
City in the last games, they have Brentford coming up next. Then they have Palace at home, so they have 2 home games. And in the last game, they have and then they have Bournemouth away and Aston Villa at home.
Yeah.
So Brentford, Palace, Bournemouth, and Villa.
Okay, so
I think Villa are going to make the final. I've got this feeling Villa make the European final, and I think that's going to change everything.
Yeah, and Villa at the minute, could drop to Bournemouth. So I think Villa. No, I can't see City winning the title.
And can we just say, if Villa do win a Champions League, it'll be the top 6. Europa League top 6 will become.
Top 6. Yeah, it is. It's correct. It's correct. And they've got Bournemouth, haven't they? City and Bournemouth are desperate for European football. They've got an outside chance of Champions League here, Bournemouth. So that won't be an easy game.
Villa have got to play. Well, obviously, they've just lost to Tottenham, haven't they? But Villa will play everyone down the bottom.
Yeah, Villa again. It's McGinn.
They're deciding relegation.
Yeah, they kept McGinn out the side because of what's coming on this week. And McGinn makes a big difference to Villa. When he came back, they started winning again. When he's out the team, they lose. McGinn, unbelievable player. And then we will finish 3rd.
You can see from that we need 1 point to finish 3rd.
Yeah, I think with Liverpool not having anything to play for, they'll probably end up finishing 4th. So I think it's as you are up until 6th.
And the relegation just to.
No, well, they won't get past us. For me, I said Tottenham would stay up, and I stay by that. I think West Ham go.
Yeah, and Forest, they are safe now, 42 points. So I think the 40 point is the magic number. It used to be,
I think last game of the season, shoot out West Ham, Tottenham.
Yeah, me too. But I think Tottenham will probably stay up here.
I think they're edge it. After seeing how they performed this weekend, I think they can get out of it, and they bloody should with the players they've got. But I think it becomes a straight shootout at the end of the season.
Yeah, terrible.
Whether Brighton sneak into Conference League, I don't know. That's one to keep an eye out, and that's how the other results go. Could with Palace win it? If Palace win and it moves the standings down.
Yeah, again, because I think Palace could win the Conference League.
Yeah, and Palace then go Europa League the following season.
Europa League
down an extra spot, and
because we did that, didn't we? By with Chelsea, we won FA Cup, didn't we, or whatever it was? And
and you still got that. You still got City doing a Europa. So Chelsea going to have in the final.
Chelsea.
So Chelsea are in Europa League, and that spot's got to come into the league.
Yeah, so we could go down to 9, couldn't we? If we win. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts.
And it is wrong. They do need to redo it because for a long time, England wins the Conference League every year, but it is left as it is, and we should be one of the favourites countries to win the Europa League.
Jamie.
That's
Okay.
not Jamie Wayne.
No, that's not Jamie Wayne. Don't impersonate other persons, guys.
Don't be doing that.
Show some respect. That's just how it is.
Don't be doing that.
I know it's a joke, but please change your name. You know, it's
not on this
funny.
channel. Not on this channel.
Guys, I want to, before we go, I want to have a little Carrick debate, and I also want to bring up again the assistant from Bayern Munich link. But before we go to that, I want to talk a little bit about the Liverpool game yesterday, and I want to hear Mark's take on the game. We won the game 3-2, late winner from Kobe Mainoo. We were up 2-0 at halftime. Liverpool came. We gave them 2 easy goals. Big mistake from Ahmad. Big mistake from Sene Lammens. So again, you know, we ended up by inviting Liverpool back into the game at their own home ground. So I can't quite understand why it happened again, because it's not the first time this has happened this season. Is it something about the mentality of the players, or is it just a coincidence? And then, you know, the late winner from Kobe Mainoo, and a little bit about Carrick's tactics and in-game management. So, guys, and let's start with Mark. How did you actually see the game, and what's your takes?
I was absolutely buzzing that we flew out of the blocks, right? So the last 2 games, we've been saying before that, we're too slow. We're too slow. We're starting too slow. Now we're flying out the blocks. We get 2-0 up. We've got them on the ropes, and we're unable to punish them because people can't stay on side, and, you know, silly, little mistakes going forward. But you're thinking batter and batter. You know, the third, the fourth was there. Doesn't happen. Another change at halftime. I am old enough and ugly enough to tell you, if you're going to make a change at halftime, that player better not be coming in at halftime. He better be on the pitch practicing his passing, practicing doing his sprints, getting up to match speed, because everyone else is going to come out all guns blazing. And for me, that was probably the biggest mistake Carrick's made, bigger than the one he made last week, changing at halftime.
But is that Carrick's responsibility? I'm just shooting in here. Or shouldn't the players be grown enough to know they have played a game of football before? And if you come out as a sub in the second half, you should take the responsibility and go out there and actually do your preparations thoroughly.
No, because if you're a sub at halftime, and I mean coming on at halftime, you normally are told 5-10 minutes before, right? But I've got a funny feeling everyone went into the changing rooms, and it was at that point that they went, shit, Sesko can't continue because of his shin and the blow into the thing. You know, where he got nudged in the back, didn't he? Went off the cliff of Old Trafford's pitch down and smacked into that. Now, you're right. Should he have been sent straight back out? Yeah, but it's already too late at that point because you've lost 5 minutes walking in, walking out, and you need a coach out there. So this was off the cuff kind of change, but it's the second time he's done it in 2 games, changed at half time. Now, in my opinion, Mbeumo was having a great first half. And we're taking a striker off. Why are you not putting Xerxes up front? Because you've got a player playing out of his skin on the wing, skinning people, getting the crosses in, getting the balls across the box, put Xerxes up there. So I feel that he's making a few wrong mistakes. And that's okay, right? Because he's not experienced at this level. He's getting away with those mistakes. And Roy Keane said it, didn't he, on the overlap? But in the studio. Sorry, it wasn't on the overlap. It was in the studio. But we're praising him for change last week. Well, we lost 2-1 in the second half. Sorry, and we lost this second half as well. So these tactical changes, they're not winning us the game. Because in theory, if you're scoring goals, you stick with that formation.
Yeah.
Because
you made
a
decent point there.
Is to take on pressure, right? Because if you can't incite the pressure, how the hell are you going to counter-attack it? But we got the final goal. We won. We've done everything that's needed. The midfield opening up, I didn't quite understand. But if you actually look back to the first half, Casemiro and Mainoo were doing that already. So we just didn't move the ball quick enough, and Ahmad made the wrong choice for the first goal. Second goal, what's that? The first mistake Lammens has made since he's been here, and this is Premier League football. He put it 2 yards too wide, and they capitalise. But that's why you press in that style onto the centre backs.
Yeah.
But really, as the game went on, it was okay. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't anything, as Stu has said, what has he done to deserve the job? He's getting the points, but it's the worst Premier League season I've seen for a while, with people dropping points and picking up wins and things like that.
Yeah, terrible season, yeah.
So you're making the best of a bad situation, which is your job, you know. Arsenal have done that. City have tried to do that, and then we're there in third, 15th to third.
Yeah, but Stian also say, but the ball possession was less than 40%, and I think it was 37%, and we just give the ball to Liverpool. We're not interested in keeping possession for at least for possession's sake and controlling the game.
Which is fine.
You just absorb and try the counterattacks all the time.
But when you bring Ahmad on and play, I'm not digging out Ahmad, guys. I'm trying to point out here the difference between Ahmad and Mbeumo, because that's the player we changed on the wing. Mbeumo likes to drag the defender towards him, spin, run in behind, and run into that open space. Ahmad doesn't. Ahmad comes short, get the ball, turns, and tries to dribble past the defender. Old school wing play. That's not counter-attacking football. So now he's the wrong player in that position if you're going to give up possession. And that's what I'm talking about. Carrick, what are you doing? Xerxes, you could put up front and leave him doing what Sesko was doing. And Mbeumo can keep doing what he's doing. Cunha, I thought, was our best player. I thought the way he got the ball, took players on. But then we stopped giving him the ball. Once we got bloody Curtis Jones on a yellow for yanking him back, we didn't give him the ball to take him on. Let's get him sent off. And that's bad instructions from the bench as well. Keep giving Cunha the ball. Attack the left, not the right. So it got the job done, Jarvis. That's the way I can look at it. We've done the double over Liverpool. First time in 10, 11 years. First time since Wayne Rooney was playing for us. That says it all, really.
I think it's 16, 17 season or something, yeah.
So we've got third, but it was poor play, but making the best of a bad situation. Bear in mind, we had one first team player missing, and they had 5 or 6.
No strikers.
I thought they pulled us around brilliantly in the middle of the park. McAllister didn't play well at all, nor did Gravenberch, but they pulled us around. Wirtz in particular, they stretched Manu and they stretched Casemiro well. Jarvis made a point. We switched the play very, very well on occasions, but ultimately we were ripped to pieces because we're just not mobile enough in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest problem for Manu is he isn't that mobile, bless him. He had a really good game, but when you got McAllister and you've got Gravenberch makes such a difference to Liverpool, in the way that he plays and he protects. Then you've got Gakpo, who's decent anyway, and then you've got Wirtz, I don't think he was great, Wirtz, by the way, but he's got something about him, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's growing.
He's growing. And they utilise their pace and their aggression. You got Szoboszlai, for
me, Szoboszlai was man of the match, and I thought he was hard done by. Manu was definitely not man of the match. I know he got the winner, but I thought Cunha was for us. But Szoboszlai ran the show.
He was good for them. Yeah, he was good for them. Yeah, no, he was good for them. He's a very good player. But I mean, ultimately, people always say, "Did you think United deserve this? United deserve that?" You never deserve to win a game of football, ever. The only way you win a game of football is by outscoring the opposition. Period. And that could be done. That could be done by your shoulder, your bum, your dick. It doesn't really matter where the ball goes in, as long as it crosses the line. So boxing's right. You get 50%, 40%, 60% possession. It don't matter if you win the game 1-0. It doesn't really matter. For me. It's a no-brainer what we should do, and I'm not going to talk about it again because I keep talking about it, and it's the only way for us to move forward for the next 5 years. I just fear that we'll have the same old issues, same old problems in 2 years' time.
I agree.
Which upsets me really, because I want to see the club progress, but I don't trust our board to make the right decisions. I don't trust Wilcox.
Well, that's what I'm saying about get rid of Wilcox, in my opinion. If you can bring in an Ancelotti, Wilcox goes out the door.
Yeah, it's got to go.
That's why you can't bring in an Ancelotti at Tuchel because you want a director of football.
No, that's correct. But you should be bringing in an Ancelotti or a Tuchel, or I seen the fucking overlap had Poch on, didn't they? Pochettino.
Yeah.
A really good interview that was.
He was good and he was very insightful. I mean, these guys are insightful. But again, I'm not quite there with Pochettino. There's only two I think we should be looking at. Yeah. Really, there's only Ancelotti for me that's a million miles above where we need to go.
Well, do you remember me saying about Enrique?
Yep.
Beginning of last year, before everything happened, before they won the bloody Champions League and all of that, I'm going Enrique. And look what he's done now. I put Xavi in the same category if you give him the chance and you let him create and dictate how the football's going to do. He could do the same because PSG rebuilt from superstars to very decent players. Gone and find a Desiree Doué. Dembele, Jesus Christ. He was drowning off the end of the cliff at every club he ever went to. Comes back under him and look at him now.
Kvaratskhelia, look at that.
Oh, mate, we could have had him as well.
Oh, no. Rubbish, by the way. Rubbish in the French league. Yeah, rubbish in the French league, but brilliant in Europe.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that's because they just gone, we'll just have to kick him. But he was superb in Napoli. He was superb in the, I'm sorry.
Who goes through?
He's unbelievable. They called him the Almanian George Best or something like that. And it where's
he's a brilliant player.
But it is worrying for. We've got to look and judge what we've done based on how everyone else performed. That's what I'm looking at. So yes, we beat Liverpool. We gave up 38% possession. I think it's the stat I've got in front of me. 38% possession. Now, if you think for the first half.
Yeah, that's all we had, yeah.
It was 37 the first half and 38 in the second half.
Yeah, we average, yeah.
No, but we counter-attacked and scored 2 goals. That's what I'm talking about. We have even less in the first half and made it work for us. We had more of the ball in the second and didn't know what to do with it. And that's been the question under the last 4 managers. When we have to move the ball around, these players that we have, and I'm going to put Bruno in this category, cannot keep the ball, cannot make the smiley pass it round the back into midfield, pop it back out, and just frustrating teams. They get bored. Fuck it, hit it long. I want a weldy. That's what needs to change. And that's the kind of manager and everything that needs to come in. So players are great, but if they're told to do something that don't work like that, Stu, under the wrong manager, doesn't matter what player you bring in.
Well, no, this is the issue. But again, I go back to player intelligence. I get frustrated more than anything with player intelligence. It winds me up to the hill. Absolutely winds me up. Why can't you see what everyone else can see and you're on the fucking pitch? Why can't you see it? Because you're lazy. Because you don't want to. Well, the gaffer told me I've got to stay in this zone. Fuck that. It's like I said, me and Jarvis are talking about lemons. We're talking about the mistake. What the fuck were we doing in the first place anyway? What, you could see how Liverpool was set up.
I said the same. All he's done since he's come in is ping 60-yard balls out.
Yeah. Do it again.
Why the fuck are we playing the most dangerous pass when playing out from the back into the centre, where we like to play them play it out? When they had a 2-man press, one either side, no, that ball's got to go long because anything.
Me and Jarvis gave him 3. We gave him 3 options. Me and Jarvis did. Go long or just
but we said it was difficult to dink it to Ahmad. Sesko was off, so we should have had Xerxes. And again, maybe it's a mistake from Carrick. Maybe he should have foreseen this and seen the problem by taking off Sesko and not having a vocal point up front.
And that's what I'm saying. Bringing on Xerxes.
Bring on Xerxes. So again, maybe, but. Then again, he doesn't trust Xerxes. Obviously, doesn't trust Xerxes. So maybe we will see a different Carrick with better in-game management if he has more tools in his toolbox, better players to bring
on near the end, didn't he? To see out the game, so got him on the pitch. Now, if you don't trust the player and you're trying to see out a win, you certainly don't fucking bring him on. So he does trust him to a degree, but they trusted that Mbeumo would have the legs. But it's sometimes, and I've seen this all my life, if someone's playing well, don't fucking move him from that space. He's having a good game against a player he's up against. You can't just take a round peg and put, I'm having a great game on the right, let's go put him up against their right back. Well, no, because he's a different player. He's not going to have, I now got to go inside instead of outside, things like that. It's very frustrating, but this is stuff Carrick had to learn.
Yes.
Oh, we got good.
Yes, big up Pearl coming in and say hi, guys. I saw this post on X. Shout out to all the Gooners in the UK. We're winning the league. Yes, it looks like you are winning the league. Congratulations to you guys.
There's still a few games left, and you don't want to unbottle the champagne yet as an Arsenal fan.
3-1-0 wins. 3-1-0. Well, 2-1-0 wins.
Yeah.
Well, again, what can we do about it? We did our part. We gave them a So no, it's interesting. But I asked the panel, the audience and the chat a question, and are you happy giving Carrick the job? And at the moment, it's only 36% of you says yes. So if you have another opinion, go in and get your vote in. And also, I ended the vote on the other player that we looked at in the beginning. What's his name? Let me just bring it up. So Shay Charles from Southampton, and only 30% of you want him. So again, it's a no from you guys. But before we go to the Q&A, quick around the panel about Carrick. Are you happy with keeping him? And if we are keeping him, what needs to be done? Stu, you can go first.
By the way, Pearl's talking about Ancelotti. I actually buy into his son. I was talking. I read an article that he wrote, and I was talking about his son Davide, and I think he would be absolutely brilliant for us. And I think Ancelotti would be the manager side of it, his son as the coach. Very, very good.
That's the first time he's not been on the coaching staff with his dad, isn't it? Since he stopped playing himself, because he did go to the field job, but Real Madrid, he was on the staff all the way through that.
Yeah, no, and Everton. Did it with Everton.
That's true.
Yeah, he talked about coming up and how they worked out how to beat Guardiola's system. It was absolutely brilliant. But appreciate your comment. Thanks for that, Pearl. No, not for me with Carrick. Like what he's done. Happy with what he's done. Players have got away with it yet again, and we can't keep having that. I think we need somebody in. Not as a complete disciplinarian, but somebody who their eyes are going to come out and think, fuck, just look who's walked through the door. Jesus Christ, look at this. 5 Champions Leagues, fucking World Cup, AC Milan, fucking Italy, come on. That's what I want. I can see why people would gravitate towards Carrick, but I've seen a couple of cracks in the last 4 matches. If we don't fill, then we're going to struggle next season. So I would like somebody different.
Okay. Mark, what's your take on Carrick? And I just want to add before we go further with this, Mark, we have been linked. I don't know if you saw the link to the Bayern Munich assistant coach, and he used to work with Carrick. They worked together. He worked with Company in Anderlecht, and he also worked with Carrick in Middlesbrough and Company at was it Burnley?
Yeah,
a couple of seasons ago. Yeah. So again, it's just going to bring up his name and share it for you guys. So United are keeping close tabs on Bayern Munich assistant Aaron Dunks, and Michael Carrick wants him as part of his long-team coaching staff should he land the job permanently at Old Trafford. So that's the report that's out there, and this is what I have been waiting for, getting in people with some experience and from the best clubs. This is what I mean by trying to go for best in class, people who can actually help Carrick do a better job.
I wouldn't put him in the best in class, though.
No, okay.
The only reason I say that is there aren't many places you could take a fucking relegated manager and his coaching staff and take him from the Premier League and put him in a top thing. Bayern Munich is one of those clubs where that works.
Mm.
So don't forget, he's taken Burnley relegated. That staff has gone into Bayern Munich and won the league and brought them back. Now, is it true that you can only coach what you have? Absolutely. So the better the players are and the better the coach you are, you're going to get more out of them. And that's where you look at people like maybe a Wayne Rooney and a Steven Gerrard and all these amazing players who have failed as coaches because they need to coach better quality of players. And I put Carrick in that as well. I covered a lot of this off recently on my shows. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't with Michael Carrick. If we go out and get Ancelotti, which I feel that we should put an Ancelotti, a Tuchel, and someone said it might be Jamie Wayne. We are Manchester United. You try. You can fail, but you certainly, the one thing that's not acceptable is not trying, right? But you've got to warn Carrick that you're going to do that. We're going to try and get these. This is where you sit. You're going to interview for it. Has he done everything that he's been asked to do? Yep. Has he done it off his own esteem? 50-50, maybe 60-40. Results he's lucky with, hasn't he? When we've lost, other teams around us lost. Things like that. Stu pretty much sums up how I feel. That Carrick has got all the heart. He knows everything there is to know about the club. And that's what we need. But when it comes to European football, when it comes to the big decisions, or maybe just enticing a player in, you need a big name. But I've had one fear, and it's been at the back of my head ever since Fletcher came in. So before Carrick, we've seen this before, and it's the same players. Great, they're playing for him because they don't know who the manager's going to be. And as soon as the manager's announced, if Carrick got announced as manager, it happened with Ollie. All of a sudden, they drop down to not down tools, but they just drop off because they're not playing for a new contract. That's the way I always see football, Stu. Is you're always playing for your next contract, aren't you? Staying at the club.
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah.
So with Carrick, he's interim, and they've made a real point. We're not making a decision till the end of the season. So as players, we've got to give our all. If they made a decision, they're still going to get their fucking 300,000 a week if we were in the Champions League or not in the Champions League. But they might not have a job come the end of it. Those are, Maguire, been one of our best players this season, got his contract. Casemiro, unbelievable. Okay, we haven't given him a contract. Bruno Fernandes, hit and miss. We talk about he's got his 19 assists. I do believe that was given to him now, officially, that yesterday. But half of those assists came... Huh?
God knows how. The keeper palmed on to...
He was too weak a touch, and they've given it to him. Apparently, is what I've heard.
I was too weak a touch, was it? Okay.
Yeah, and if you look at it, you're like, he hasn't done anything on that ball. It was a real weak touch. So I can understand it. But Bruno got half those assists quite early on, playing out the 8. So it isn't that he's had that season because Carrick's moved him into the 10. He was already he was on track for a really good season anyway with the assists. And how many has he actually set up for a striker? Half of them are for Casemiro. 9 of his assists are for Casemiro. Or is it 8? 8 or 9 are for Casemiro.
I pay no attention to assists.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. So what are we going to do? If you bring in a great manager, he fails, you'll say keep Carrick. If you keep Carrick and he fails, you said we should have got someone else. We are literally one of the worst fan bases for doing that.
We're doomed.
We're always doomed, and that's because of a lot of channels put that out there, isn't it? Straight away, it's clickbait. You got things. Actually, we've got to give half of our way of getting into third. We were in fourth when Carrick took over, but we're quite happy to slag off Amorim.
It's been forgotten about. It's been forgotten about.
Carrick's only moved us up one position,
one place.
But Amorim was horrendous.
We were fifth, weren't we, when Carrick took over?
We were fourth, fifth. We were dovetailing between teams.
I wonder if how we would have done if Carrick came in right before the AFCON started.
Well, if you want to believe the stats,
would he be able to do this without Mbumo and the AFCON players? And we were missing Sesko out with injury, and so
he got very lucky. Look at Maguire. Maguire got sent off. Martinez came back. Martinez gets sent off. Maguire's back. Everything's gone in his favour in that respect. Even like he lost Dorgu, but he didn't lose anyone else. And everyone just came back at it seemed just the right time. We're just giving him a little bit more. Luke Shaw this weekend, most of us weren't expecting him to play. Going, who the fuck is going to play left back?
Did all right, actually.
Yeah, but that's my point. He was there. And now we see Dorgu there for the last, whereas Cunha might need to play somewhere else. Because if Sesko can't play and Bumo's going to go through the middle, so that means Ahmad, so we need an extra player. Dorgu's back. When things go in your favour, it looks great. When they go against you, you get Tottenham's season, who have had a constant 11 players out injured all season.
Yeah.
So,
good point.
I don't know, Jarvis is the answer. Manager-wise, we've got to go for the best. You shoot for the stars. We're in the Champions League. What are they going to do? Say no. You've got to do it. You do that for players.
I saw someone made a point that if you bring in a type like Ancelotti type of manager, the expectations will rise and people will start thinking we will win the league next year. And
why can't
I think that's wishful thinking. That's not how the dynamics in football work. You don't go from this to this. It's one thing.
Ancelotti's not going to win you the league, and that's not the point of having him. And therein lies therein lies people missing the point of having an Ancelotti.
What would the expectations be if Ancelotti comes in
Stability.
And given a war chest of 400 millions?
Stability and growth. That's what you buy Ancelotti for. You're not buying him to win you the league because it won't happen in 2 years. What you're buying is somebody who's going to come in and rip up this current poncy, pathetic school children or playground system that we've got and club that we've got, and build a proper football club again.
Yeah.
And the idea is you bring in somebody like him, and then Carrick should learn from him. If you want Carrick in charge, learn from the very fucking best. You've got to learn from the best. We all have got to learn from the best. Guardiola, one of the luckiest managers on the fucking planet, and people laud him as being this fucking... But he learned from the likes of Jose Mourinho, Bobby Robson. He had these greats he was learning under. And this is what Carrick needs to do.
Coming through that academy and one of the best academies in the world.
Yeah, this is what you need to do. This is how you develop a football club, and so, Carrick's likely to get it. We all know that. But Ancelotti is there. And Boxing Straight Talk said about his age, 70. I totally agree. You bring in a fucking brilliant coach, his lad, and you let Carrick and Davide get on with it after Ancelotti retires in 2 years' time. That's what you do. And I think I do think he's got the time, and I think he would love to come. I think that would be the pinnacle for him. PSG, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Manchester United.
You won't find any other manager that's managed the best team in every single league.
Yeah, and he would have done that. I think he's absolutely he's just the one that can get us where we need to be.
And going back, you just had one a minute ago. You put it on screen. I wanted to come back on it because he's saying, Soccer Junkie, about the recruitment. The recruitment is so important, but you cannot deny that the bigger the manager is, the better the player, or more chance of getting that better player is. If we have Pep or Sir Alex Ferguson, then you say there's nothing between them. But Pep versus Carrick, who's the player going to choose? Ancelotti has that. He'll have the cigar out. He will smooth talk. Look what he did to Everton. Jay Rodriguez coming into Everton. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I know.
He had a shit one, but that was a hard deal to do. That should never have been done.
James Rodriguez,
James Rodriguez. As I call him, James Rodriguez. But he's done many a deal. He doesn't spend massive money because at Real Madrid, everyone forgets. They look at Madrid. That's the, well, what do you want to call him? The president brings in those players. He just wants buy who he buys. AC Milan, Paris Saint-Germain, he was supplied with players. Do you know what I mean? He can make it work, but he can also go and say, that's the kind of player I want. Why? Because that's the player I want. And that's it. End of. That's who I want.
I just think we've got to get out of this playground mentality that's happening at Old Trafford at the moment. And I don't know many people that can do that. That's all I want to
say. Guys, before we go to the Q&A, I just want to address something. I saw a lot of you guys were talking about counter-attacking football. And when it comes to counter-attacking football, it's a style of play, but it's something that you can do when needed, I would say. Sometimes you have to absorb pressure. You're up against better opposition, and playing counter-attacking football is the best style of football in certain games. My problem is not about counter-attacking football. My problem is when you come to games when you meet, let's say, Wolves, Burnley, Leeds, and all these games where we are supposed to control the game, and they will sit back and try to absorb. We can't sit back and absorb when they do the same. It won't make any sense. It will be 0-0 every game. So we have to have a style of play to control games when we can't counterattack. And I think this is the problem with Man United. It's been so for years. We can't go out and take the game by the scruff of its neck and just control the game and win it. And if you look at the results last two or three seasons, and even this season, we have struggled against Wolves, we have struggled against Burnley, we have struggled against Leeds, we have struggled against 10-man Everton, we have struggled against so many of these teams. And I think that come down to quality. And Mark was talking about this when he mentioned, for example, players like Bruno, who can't take down the ball and set the tempo right. They will always go for the killer pass, and kind of destroys us in the way we could have played against these teams. Because I think we have the quality when you look at Cunha and Mbumo and Sesko and all of them, but we don't take that opportunity. So again, counter-attacking football, love it, but we need more. That's just my take on it. Go to the Q&A, guys.
We'll do the Q&A one sec, but unfortunately you've opened up another kettle of worms there.
I know. I just want to end it with that.
No. But let me tell you what that is very, very quickly. And it goes back to what I always talk about, player intelligence. If these morons over the last 3 seasons, Jarvis, and we know they are, haven't got the brain power to work out what to do against a low block, and as an elite professional footballer, what's the answer? Because you've asked the question, what's the fucking answer? Because
I've said it many a Monday.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to Q&A, Carl. Play the jingle.
If you have any more questions, we have I think we have 8 questions now start. Yeah. So if you have a couple more questions, we can try to do, let's say 10 minutes, 15 minutes at max. Yeah. So let's just play the Q&A jingle, and we will be back shortly. Q&A.
I can do it on my tummy if you like.
Yeah, you can do it.
Welcome to the Q&A section. I love this part. It is absolutely brilliant. A lot of the questions we've starred, though, we've already answered. So let's go straight into this one from Boxing. He says, if we had sacked Amorim at the end of last season like he deserved, I wonder how that league would look now. Jarvis, what do you think?
Yeah, that's what if brilliant question, and I like philosophical questions like this. Yes. But thank you, Boxing. But for me, we would have done better, 100%, because Amorim, it would never have worked. He didn't get the backing he needed, and it was too difficult to change the system to a back three. Was not in our DNA. It was not in the players' DNA. We would have had to change 10 to 15 players, and with our budget at the moment, and we know last season, we didn't even qualify for Europe. So again, maybe we should have been more sensible and just sacked Amrim at the beginning. But let's say if Carrick started the season, I don't think we would have ended higher than third at best. So again, we wouldn't be in a title charge. And as I also reverted to, what if Carrick came in right before the AFCONs, playing with a thin squad? Even he would have struggled. But yeah, I don't know if Mark, where would we have ended with Carrick for the full season?
If my aunt had a penis, she'd be my uncle. I think is the term. You don't know, because Amrin got some wins, but we didn't expect him to get. Carrick's got some wins we didn't expect to get. He's lost games we expected to win. So did the other. So what's actually really, I don't see much difference between either of them for this season. So, and the back three, Carrick's played back three a couple of times now. We were able to switch to it under him and still play. So, and I don't want to get Shu going. There's only so many bloody formations, but a smart player can play in all of them. Yeah, it's an interesting, it is. If I could go back in time and see what would happen, it goes hand in hand with me saying, if you gave him the manager's job at the beginning of the season, would the players play for him the same way as they don't know who the manager is coming in? It's philosophical, like Jarvis said.
It is. I would just answer it this way. It's worth noting that Amrin had to deal with Onana. Carrick has got Le Mans. There you go. Because I'm telling you now, gentlemen.
Yeah, the more solid structured side.
What the hell would Carrick do with Onana in goal? Just go ponder on that one, guys.
Or Rashford, for instance. He'll probably keep Rashford for the season. So, yeah.
Great question, Boxing. Love that. So, Grace says, so Stu, who are you signing? And I've said it, and I'm going to say it again. I would go with Baleba, and I'd have no problems with that. There are some really good midfielders out there, ones that we won't get. And so you've got to look at what's available to you and who's the best that's available to you. As Mark has already put Baleba in the top 5 of our signings, and then I'm quite happy with my choice. So I shan't be budging on that one, Grace. Right, here's a good question again from Boxing. I'll come back to that one, mate, because we've done one from you. Mark, here's one for you from Jamie. And he says, Senesi on a free this summer.
Pre-contracts agreed with Tottenham if they stay up.
Sorry. Unbelievable, that, isn't it? Fucking believable.
Yeah.
Contracts agreed is not the same thing as...
I would take him. Huh?
It's not the same as just agreed contracts. It's not the same as he hasn't signed for them yet.
No, I agree. But when it comes to contracts, that it could be as solid. It really could be as solid as that. But because it's an English club to an English club, they can't do anything till June 1st, I think it is, or is it July 1st? I would go for him. 100%. I would go for him.
Always a hijack.
Yeah. Well, why not? Why not? We've had enough of our deals hijacked and bloody thing. Obi is the one that comes to mind, the worst ever one with Chelsea. But yeah, no, Senesi, very good centre back. With not knowing what's going on with De Ligt, it just makes sense. But why would Bournemouth let him go? That's the only thing. Like, why would Bournemouth? Because I think he's a really good centre back. So.
I think he wants to go. It just comes down to me very, very quickly, Jamie. I think he's a brilliant player. Why the fuck would he want to go to Tottenham for a start? But anyway.
That's what I'm not getting, and no one else.
But it goes to demonstrate what a football club should do and how you should act. And that's exactly what Tottenham had done. They knew he had that he was coming up to the end of his contract. He wasn't signing a contract at Bournemouth. Thank you very much. We'll take you. Thank you very much. What did Bournemouth do when Iraola said he was leaving? We'll go and get Rossi. Thank you very much. Next. No fucking about it, Bournemouth.
Just to clarify, because what Jarvis said, if he was playing for any other league, we could have signed him instantly. Tottenham could have signed him instantly. But because it's within an English club to English club, you can't do it. Even you have to wait for the contract to get expired, which I think is a bullshit rule, because it should be the same for all leagues, not just on your league.
Agree.
But he probably won't end up going to Tottenham. Who knows? Good question, Jamie. Like that one. Tomas, Jamie has come on and said, "How are we replacing Casemiro's experience?"
I hope we don't. I hope we do some kind of coaching role or something. Keep him, because you can't. The best you can do is buy another player that's too old to play. That's the trade-off. It's the hardest working position on the pitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how do you do it? It's non-impossible. I think we covered that tonight. For me, it's keep Casemiro and buy Ederson. I've said Ederson for the last 3 years. For me, that's the perfect replacement with Casemiro, because
he's been heavily linked with us, according to Yarl and Mamin, hasn't he?
Yeah. But we could have got him on a buyout clause for 35 million 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think he's been linked at 65 again, hasn't he? Something along those lines.
No, it's 45.
45, is it? Okay.
Yes, Atalanta have rinsed us. They've absolutely rinsed money out of us, so they deserve to do us a deal at last. But Jarvis, how do we replace Casemiro's experience? Because it's not going to be easy.
Well, I would expect we will get more goals from Sesko next season, because he will have had time to adapt to the league, and also even more goals from Cunha and Mbumo. My biggest worry of the front four, let's say, is Ahmad. I'm not quite sure what to do with Ahmad in this Carrick system. I don't think he seems to thrive. So we need more attacking force. We have heard links to Rodgers. We have been linked to other players. The guy, the winger, has been linked from Liverpool. What's his name? The German Diomande.
Diomande, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we don't need a goal-scoring midfielder like Casemiro, but we need to do better in the other offensive roles to get the goals needed. Because that's basically what it's all about.
Good question, Thomas. That's answered it for you. I think it's impossible to replace Casemiro and experience, by the way. Let's see what else we got. Soccer Junkie says, has there been any concrete links to Ancelotti? No, none
There's
at
been
all.
no concrete to any manager.
No, none at all. Soccer Junkie, it's just my preferred option. Not at all. Jamie Gawain, just following up. Thanks, Soccer Junkie, for that. Would the panel want Marco Senesi? Yeah, it's a resounding yes. We'd all take Senesi. Not as good as Anderson, in my opinion, at Fulham, but I'd still take Senesi on a free.
I love Anderson. I loved him when he was with Palace before he went to Fulham.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
Yeah, but he's not a high line type of centre back for me. If personally, I would go for Van Hecke. I think he's way ahead of both of them.
Yeah, I don't want a high line centre back though.
I would take
more ball playing. I would prefer a more ball playing centre.
I want someone to hold the line better. We don't hold the line that great. I want someone to.
I would take the risk on Van der Ven and get him away from that top medical staff, because you've got to look at the constant injuries.
You don't want to come to United's medical staff.
I know. I realise what I'm saying there, but we've definitely improved this season with our medical staff. And maybe all the facilities was part of that, Stu. It's very coincidental. We built this training ground and we've had less injuries.
We've got a link with Toshiba, haven't we, in a medical.
But Van der Ven, I think someone needs to look at him. You can't be that fast and pulling hamstrings.
He's a brilliant player. Yeah, brilliant player.
Tyrone also comes in. He would take Lacroix from Crystal Palace, and also we have the guy Mauro Panos from West Ham. If they go down, we would bring
in the Premier League. Some really good.
I'll take Diouf, left back from West Ham, if I took anyone.
Bueno for left back from Wolves. I quite like Hugo Bueno. Yeah. He's quite cheap. Another question from United Tildy and
Till I Die.
Till I die. Oh, it's United till I die. Yes. 8579. I'm getting tired, you can tell. If we are always cycling through managers, players, We all know the issue is the Glazers at Ineos. Realistically, can we ever win the Prem again? Well, yeah, you can. You could always win the Premier League. You're always, you're in a title race from the first game of the season. By the way, it's just worth noting that. In fact, you're in a title race to the first 5 games of the season. Everybody is.
You're an Arsenal fan. You were in it till the last game of the season.
Yeah, exactly. But you've got to do it right. You've got to get the right person at the helm. And if you don't get the right person at the helm, you're not going to win anything. Because you allow players to continually act like children and get away with it, you're not going to win anything. So,
can I just come on the Glazers and Ineos thing? Now, we all want Glazers and Ineos. I don't know where you two stand on Ineos because it's hit and miss. I get that, but Glazers, everyone wants out. I don't want Ineos there. But all the time, we're still capable of spending ridiculous money, and then they're not affecting us in that way. It is appointments, and that's what Stu's touching on. The right manager, the right CEO, the things like that. We can't disagree about our CEO and coming downwards. We all think they're the right people now. So as long as they keep somehow paying off that credit card debt, it's not great, but we're not the only club out there currently running like that, and some are actually being run worse than us, and it's starting to show. That's not me backing Glazers or Ineos, but you've got to look. You go, well, hang on, Man City are getting away with fucking murder. Chelsea are falling into a black hole. Yeah, of course we can win the Premier League again. They've not stopped us from doing that. We've just had Woodward and people like that. They were the wrong choices. That correction's been made. So are we back to a level playing field? Maybe. We've got to stay positive going forward.
Yeah, no, 100%. Great question. We've got a couple of questions to go. And we're going to go with Pearls, and then we're going to finish with... hold on.
Did Boxing have a few?
Boxer's got one more, but we're going to go with Pearl, and then because then everyone's asked a question, and we're going to finish with Hellgate because Hellgate is an interesting one. So Pearl says, taking bias out of it, absolutely. Why should Elliot Anderson choose Manchester United over Manchester City? It's actually a really good question, that, because it's not an easy answer.
I think it is an easy answer.
Yeah,
I think
it isn't.
Too big a risk if he's looking for his career moving forward, with everything still potentially hanging over the 115 charges. I would really have that in the back of my mind going, but what if they get fucking relegated straight after I transfer to them? That's the one and only reason I can give you. Man United's building something. Do you want to be a part of that? They've always had English midfielders. Man City's Man City currently. But what if the shit does hit the fan with Man City? Your career could spiral. Just saying.
Yeah. John, what do you think?
It depends on the mindset of Elliot Anderson. If you are the type of player who likes a challenge, you should choose Manchester United over Manchester City. And going to Manchester City, you will always risk getting benched, because coming in for a big transfer sum doesn't automatically give you a place in the starting 11. We all seen players like what's his name, Calvin Phillips, or what's his name, the guy who came from
Grealish.
Grealish is one of them. Look at Phil Foden this season. Will he make the World Cup? Player of the season, was it last year or 2 seasons ago?
He hasn't got a hope in getting
a lot of these big players are just getting put aside quietly in Manchester City.
Well, they bought a midfielder you
would always risk that if you're Elliot Anderson. And also the challenge of coming to Man United would be, and you heard players who have signed for Man United always comes with this, there's a chance to take them back to greatness. And he would become a living legend if he would win the league with Man United. He would be part of that team that took us back to the top. So again, is he hunting for glory? Do we have the right mindset? And if he's the type of player who has the fire inside of him and he wants to change up things, he should sign for Man United. But I don't know his personality. But his personality is the only thing I could think of that will make him choose Man United over City.
Look, I agree. I think players don't have balls anymore. I really don't. I think players take the path of least resistance. I've spoken about it for years. And Harry Kane is one of those. Took the path of least resistance. I haven't won a title yet. I'm going to have to go to Bayern Munich to do it. I can't risk going to any other club or PSG. I can only go to Bayern Munich and PSG to be guaranteed to win it. You can't go to Barcelona because you're not guaranteed to win it in Spain, and you can't go to Benfica because you're not guaranteed to win a title in Portugal. Years and years ago, it used to be you would go to Rangers or you go to Celtic to get a title under your belt, and Harry Kane has done that. And I think you are both right, Mark, you're right, about the challenges and the dangers of what could be happening to City in the future. And also, Jarvis is right about mentality. Player mentality sucks right now. Absolutely sucks. They're going for two things, a paycheck and, as I said to you, the path of least resistance. If you come to Manchester United and you dig us out a Premier League or you dig us out a Champions League, you're going to go down the history books right now. You really are. You really are going to go down in the history books because I think the kid's got no balls. I'm sorry, it's true. It's a brilliant question, and I'm glad you've asked it because nobody's ever asked us that before. We're all three of us, by the way, Pearl, are in complete agreement with everybody else that we think City's his destination. We think that's it. We think that's where he's going to end up. We're all in complete agreement with that. But I think he lacks balls by doing it.
What I would say is Reinders, that was the player I was trying to think about. They bought Reinders, started really well. He's disappeared, and that could be Anderson. Because Reinders is a superb player. And now all of a sudden, they've gone with Shirky, not Reinders, to see it through to the end of the season. That Jarvis could be Anderson.
Reinders, Jarvis is right about Phil Foden. Didn't even get a look today, did he? Not
no, but that's someone they bought first season, and now he's gone.
Well, here's the one though for Wolves, and here's the one. Nunes, Mateus Nunes from Wolves, brilliant midfielder, playing at right back.
Yeah,
there you go. Because he can't get into
done it for Liverpool this season.
Yeah, but playing it right back because that's what they've decided. We were brought in as a right back. I don't play right back. I play midfield. No, we brought you in as a right back. It really interesting. So really good question. So I wanted to finish with Helge's question, but a couple of other ones have sneaked in. Let me just see. Oh no, we've already done that one. We have touched on this, Jamie. Ahmad's regressed. I started babbling on about this 8 weeks ago, mate, as you well know, because you're in the chat when I said we should take him out and we should rest him. And I meant that. And unfortunately, I've proven to be correct. One of those. So my phone is going absolutely nuts. Hold on, gentlemen. Somebody carry on with
that. Yeah. Go on, Jarvis. I've already said my bit when you asked me about the game about Ahmad.
Well, I raised this question. I've been raising this question for a lot of weeks now, and Ahmad, he hasn't. Do we have any goals since December or anything? So again, he's not putting in the numbers. And my theory was we're not playing the way that suits Ahmad in this Carrick system because I said in the Liverpool game we reverted back to the shift of play. We started a lot of the times from Lamens to Heaven. Then he took in Kobe Mainu or Bruno into the play, and then we shifted over to an isolated Mbumo. And Mbumo had a run on the fullback a lot of the times, 1-against-1. And this is what we never see with Ahmad. We never play Ahmad into the ideal position. It's because we have stopped shifting the play from one side to the other. We don't trap the opposition to one side and then shift. We don't do that anymore. We play more direct. We play forward, not sideways. And I would love us to maybe do more of this, that like we saw against Liverpool, and maybe it would suit Ahmad better that first half. If he had the work rate of Mbumo and the energy, maybe Ahmad would have been suited better, getting a little bit higher up the pitch 1-against-1. But that's just my take on it.
Yeah. Right then, we will finish with Helga's question, and I hope that helps answers your question, Jamie. So Helga says, "Where's your preferred 3 centre midfield players? Who would like to go first?"
Are we talking Man United central mid or 3 players we bring in?
I think 3 players you bring in. Who would like to go first?
Jarvis, because he knows all the midfielders.
Well, obviously, I would sign Sander Berge.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would go, but it's never been linked to us. I also like Anton Stach, the guy who plays for Leeds. I think he's brilliant, but none of them have been linked to us. I don't know why. So again, I think I have to go for a player like Matheus Fernandes. I also have a weak spot for Alex Scott. I think I like his energy, his drive, his willingness to come with deep runs, and I think we need more of it. More deep runs from the number 8s and even the number 6 sometimes, especially against the low block, because they will be the free player in all of this. And I'm not quite sure who will be the last one, but so let's say Matheus Fernandes, Alex Scott, and I know it's boring, but maybe Baleba.
And the Berge.
Yeah, but Sander Berge, he's not been linked to us. So I think Helge is asking me about players we have been linked to. That will be more realistic.
Your preferred.
Yeah, then it will be Sander Berge. Obviously Sander Berge. He can control the tempo of the games. He's calm, he's collected, he's press resistive, he's good on the ball, he has good pass in him, he's strong, he can protect the air, he can drop down in between the centre backs. So again, I think he would be, for me, the perfect choice.
Okay. Stu, do you want to go next?
Yeah, mine's easy. I'd bring in Baleba.
Oh, you would be.
Yeah, I'd bring in Stack, and I'd bring in Fernandes from West Ham. I'd bring in 3 Premier League proven players. That'd be it. That'd be give us a good mix. Mainly would fit in lovely with Stack. It'd fit in lovely with Fernandes, and I think it'd partner quite well with Baleba. Not as good with Baleba. I think Baleba and Stack would be fucking brilliant.
Okay, so I would bring in Ederson, as I've said.
Yeah,
because I've always rated that he just is a Man United kind of player. And then I would bring in Walton, and I would bring in Tonali. I think Tonali and Walton would work brilliant, and I think Ederson would work with either of those two. With Mainu, it'd be a perfect 4. But my caveat to bringing in Tonali would be I would sacrifice Tonali to bring in Lewis Hall as a left back if I had to go to Newcastle and get a player.
Yeah, I quite like Lewis Hall, but it costs too money. Bueno would be cheaper.
Cheaper. So no, I just think they would work well. But my main thing is I want a big built central Paul Pogba kind of midfielder, and I just can't find him out there. Sander Berge is the right kind of build.
Sangare is the Pogba guy.
He is. Yeah.
The RC Lens Sangare, Mamadou Sangare.
Yeah, I know, but we need him with that Premier League experience, because we can bring him in and it just doesn't have it. He looks great in that league, and I'm just worried that when he comes into the Premier League. But who's Sangare's national? What's Sangare's national team? Is it?
I think it's Senegal or
Senegal.
Senegal. Yeah.
Just trying to think if he's in the World Cup to see him up against other combinations or away from that French.
Was it Mali? No, it's Senegal.
So it is a good question, but I could give you multiple combinations that would work, but we would still lack height. I feel Manchester United.
Mali, by the way, Mali.
They won't be playing. It's height. That's the main thing I'd say in our midfield. Tchouaméni is the obvious choice if I wanted to bring height. And I'd loan him. If Real Madrid really want him out, let's fucking approach with the loan.
Yeah, it depends. Tchouaméni coming out of Real Madrid is Rodri. No, it's all up to Rodri, I think. Or perhaps Enzo Fernandez. It'll be one of those two that decide where Tchouaméni goes, I think.
What about Stiller?
There's not much being said about him recently, is there?
Good player. No. A good player, but again, you've got to have Premier League quality. We're not going to have the time. He's going to be in the World Cup with Germany. He's not going to have the time. We're going to buy a player 50, 60, 70 million quid. He ain't going to play for 6 weeks. It's pointless.
But if it's a 6, this is one thing, Stu, where we've spoke about it before. If it's a 6 and they're smart and they're at a decent level, not the Rodri, but, a couple down, they should be able to slot in and do a 6 role because it doesn't change in any formation.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But it's getting a player up to speed. We can't do that. We had that this summer with 2 players. Lamens didn't play for 5 weeks. And then I know he's brilliant, the Crooner, and I do like Stiller. He's a really good player, but we need players to come straight in. So anyway, it's gone past 12 here, and I'm right.
Yes, I know, Stu. Thank you for holding on for this long. 2 hours 25 minutes, and I just want to bring out this comment from Nas, big up Nas, saying we need European style players with the Champions League next season as well. Can't only focus on the Premier League, and that's a good point. Some European style experience, and because it differs, it's not the same. The tempo is not the same when you come into the Premier League, and we will at least play 8 games in the group stage before going into the playoffs. So again, there will be a lot of games.
We failed as English clubs this year in the Champions League. We really did fail. So, Jesus Christ, if Arsenal's the team that's gone the furthest, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Because historically, Arsenal don't do that, right?
Sanderberg, no, he's definitely not a glamorous signing. Maybe he will be if Norway do well in the World Cup this summer. You will see him with Odegaard and Haaland and all of them. So it's just fingers closed, crossed, and hope that Norway will do well against Senegal, France, and Iraq in the group stage, and maybe they will go through if we are lucky. Quick question from the Primate also on Morgan Rogers. Mark, we have been linked to him again.
We can't have Rogers because of Bruno. It's that simple.
Yeah.
They play in the same. Rogers would want to be in Bruno's space, and you're talking about replacing maybe Cunha with a Rogers to fit him in, or an Mbeumo with a Rogers to fit him in. If we were at the top of our game, absolutely. That's not me saying I don't want him. I just don't think he fits. But if Bruno was to go, we could make Cunha and Mbeumo and Morgan Rogers work.
Yeah.
That's the best way to say it.
Bruno,
I really hate him.
Yeah, Bruno's got to go. Yeah.
And also then ILP comes in and say, I like Alex Scott. He got legs, pace, but you can't. But can't play too. So Yarmolenko at Brentford is a good player too. Yeah, Yarmolenko, I rate him. But when it comes to Brentford, I rate Jensen. I think he's the one. But he's too old for the Ineos setup players on their first and second contract. So it is what it is, guys. It's been a brilliant show. Stu has to shoot, so it's time to wrap it up. I just want to thank the top performers when it comes to comments tonight. We have Boxing Straight Talk, Jamie Wayne, Stian United, I Am Titanium, Bilal, Vissa, United Till I Die, Grace Sheraton, Johnny Commode, Das, Tyrone, Yalam Almin, Tom Porter, Helge Scherveland, United versus everybody. That's Sean, Thomas Vedjenos, we have Rick here, United TV 1878, and Bitterbird. Big up, and thank you everybody for being a part, and also Danny B, the Bootinator, and Spoiler Alerts. And I want to thank Stu, Wally, and Mark for spending the last 2.5 hours with me and you guys on this channel. It's been a brilliant show, guys, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So everybody, get your comments in the non-live section after the show. I want to know your take on Southampton's Shay Charles. Is he a guy we should sign? Also, I want to know about your take on Carrick. Are you happy with him getting the job if he gets it? And generally what we discussed. I want to know your opinion. So just leave a like.
Hype the fuck out the channel as well. Yes, please.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you. And for all of you new arrivals, we just surpassed 1,803 subscribers.
Yes,
so
yeah,
on our road to 2,000. So it's been a brilliant show. Thank you, Nas. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, all of you guys. Thank you, Jess, and rest of you legends. We will see you on the next one. And everybody have a good night and bye-bye.
Take care.
Oh, I have to set the outro video. Sorry.
Yeah, we've been sending. There's nobody live, I don't think, is there?
No. So I will say it again. Press the like, subscribe, hype, and good night. Bye-bye.
All right.